Here we go. Who the 14th Amendment was really for? Certified foundational Black Americans. Who the hell it was not for? Illegal immigrants, fleers, and migrants. But you know what it is, fam. We stand on business every damn day. Ancestors over anchors, and we in the house. Let's go.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
I see all my beautiful foundational Black Americans in the building tonight. Not anchors, not fleers, not refugees, not immigrants, not migrants. The one and only certified foundational Black Americans. And we're going to do this right now, fam, for the whole certified foundational Black America. Family, it's going down. We're going to discuss on this broadcast the 14th Amendment, Birthright Citizenship, the Supreme Court, and the ruling that just came down today where they blocked Donald Trump's executive order to basically put an end to it. There's a lot of things going online. There's a lot of words, a lot of rumors, but y'all know right here on the Black Alpha Network, not only we going to get to the facts, we going to drop receipts, but we got a plan. Let me tell you what that plan is, family, so we can get to the good news early. Certified foundational Black Americans, we still built this country. Did anything change that? Nope. Certified foundational Black Americans, we still maintain and sustain this country. Did anything change that? Nope. And are we still stomping? Are we still about to get the bag? Is this still reparations over every damn thing? Hell to the yeah. And with all that said, family, we're going to break down the Supreme Court, birthright citizenship, Donald Trump, all the ins and outs, the mayos, the migrants, the miracle whips, the fleers. Everybody is over there and we right here. But guess what, y'all? It's always been that way. You're now rocking with the best. Yes, yes. Let's go. Straight to the block, family. This is what's going on. This is the breaking news. I need everybody smash that like button because we going to work. Let's go.
Just released its ruling on the future of birthright citizenship here in the United States. That right has long been guaranteed under the 14th Amendment, but President Trump has been waging a battle to limit birthright citizenship to children of U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Let's get straight to ABC's senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer, who covers the Supreme Court for us. Devin, for more than 100 years, the rule has been simple. If you're born in America, you are an American, and it looks like that won't change.
That still stands, Kira, after this landmark decision. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority of the court, that the 14th Amendment means what it says. The text of that amendment passed after the Civil War to extend citizenship to former slaves and their descendants is still the law of the land. If you're born on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. A major rebuke to President Trump, who had pushed for this executive order to take effect. It has come before the court twice. He attended oral arguments in person to look those justices in the eyes. And today, Chief Justice John Roberts, leaning into that opinion from over 100 years ago, 1898, the last time the Supreme Court looked at this issue. And he said that precedent is still our precedent, and it is the law of the land, Kira. A big win for the immigrant advocates, we should note, who had fought this case, the ACLU, who led the way, Cecilia Wang, herself a birthright citizen, arguing this case before the Supreme Court. And today they have a big victory. 255,000 children are born in the United States each year to
255,000, family. And that's just on the books. Let's talk about off the books. You know, the other million that all get talked about, that all get brushed under the rug. Family, y'all see exactly what we're saying right now? Do you see exactly why we've been delineating, regulating, separating? But we're going to go ahead and break this down and let everybody know. It ain't such a victory that you thought it was. No, no, no.
On citizens who would have been affected by Trump's order, and those kids today and going forward will get U.S. citizenship.
just released its ruling.
Oh, no. Family, this is what we be talking about when we've been calling it out. Family, so basically, somebody can come over here to the United States of America in your last 3 days of a pregnancy, have a baby behind the hotel, because that's what they've been doing, have a baby behind some restaurant, because that's what they've been doing, in some alley, behind a dumpster, behind a trash can, and that baby is an American citizen. See, family, the 14th Amendment has always been about certified foundational Black Americans. You can literally go to the Constitution. The words literally say it. So it's not a matter of is it or ain't it. It's a matter of folks trying to scam, folks trying to hustle, and folks trying to let any migrant in. We've been telling everybody, and you can thank foundational Black Americans about it. We've been telling everybody that they want to bring these people into our communities. These people have no loyalty to the United States of America. They have no allegiance to the United States of America. All the United States of America is to your average fleeing immigrant is a lottery ticket. It's a lottery ticket that they can't get in their homeland. Why? It's because they ain't ever built their homeland. See, when we delineate, regulate, separate, everybody always got a problem. But I'm looking at the news today and the social media, and everybody's going crazy, and they saying what we've been saying. So again, foundational Black Americans were right. Again, foundational Black Americans were correct. And if you watching, you looking, and you observing, what you see now is everybody's looking at us and saying, damn, we should have been doing what FBA was doing a long time ago. See, they got to use our pain, our suffering, or our accomplishments to come on over here. Y'all remember when they said we want to bring in these people undocumented? We want to surge the border? While well, there you go, family. But like I told you before, family, this don't change what FBA been doing. Certified foundational Black Americans, we still getting to the money. Certified foundational Black Americans, we still stepping. And foundational Black Americans, we are still, most importantly, delineating. That's the most powerful thing. And family, I want everybody right now watching. First off, I need all of y'all smash that like button, and I need everybody to let the world know that we live right now. But I want to show y'all what Donald Trump was saying for the last 3-4 years. And it's evidently clear what he's been saying for the last 3 or 4 years, family. And it is that birthright citizenship is about the babies of slaves, aka freedmen. Watch.
Another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship. And we're the only country in the world that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way. This was not meant for Chinese billionaires to have their children become citizens of our country. This was meant, or other rich people, poor people. This was meant for the babies of slaves. This was signed right after the Civil War. You look at the dates alone, immediately after. This was having to do with the babies of slaves. And people have used it. And if this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster economically for our country. And you'll have 25% of the people coming into our country coming in through birthright citizenship.
Listen to those numbers, family. But no, when Black Americans call this out, everybody says y'all's being means. Y'all's is wrongs. It looked like we was right. That's exactly what it is. Fam, you cannot sustain that type of country. You cannot have a country where anybody can just come. You can't do this anywhere else. There's not a place on the planet Earth. I'm not just talking about the Western Hemisphere, y'all. I'm talking about the whole planet. There isn't one place on the planet Earth where you can just come in, drop a kid off, and say they're an American citizen now. You can't do that for them other people, so why can you do that for our people?
And we won't have any control. This decision by the Supreme Court is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that. Frankly, I'm not happy with some of the decisions. Look at NIL. Look what they've done. Look what the courts have done to college sports. They're destroying college sports. They're destroying universities. But birthright citizens, a big deal. And literally, if that's allowed to stand, and again, this was a civil war. This was right after the Civil War. And it has to do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't have to do with the babies of very rich people coming into the country. To the Civil War, and it has to do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't have to do with the babies of very rich people coming into the country.
Family, I mean, it's crystal clear. Everybody sees it. Babies of slaves. These immigrants weren't no damn slaves. The migrants weren't no damn slaves. The fleers weren't no slaves. Only thing they want to do, fam, is ride our coattails to citizenship. One more time, Black Alpha. I don't mind if I do. They want to ride our coattails to citizenship. The president is saying this. We've been saying this, and they still was playing dumb.
One of them came in with 57 children. Okay, 57 children. They're using the system, and it's usually people that hate our country, if you want to know the truth. Birthright citizen is done by no other country in the world the way we're doing it. We're a laughing stock. Another one coming up, which is
a laughing stock. No, you ain't a laughing stock. You a fleeing stock, because they all fleeing to come here. Fam, one more time for your mind, for the people just pulling into the room, family. That right there is what we talk about when we say birthright citizenship, okay? That right there. Ain't nobody talking about Julio. Ain't nobody talking about Romero. Ain't nobody talking about Gonzalez, Mutombo. Ain't none of them was on the mind back then. See, fam, what we're going to have to start doing, what we've been doing over here, again, FBA is always right. What we're going to have to start doing, fam, you're going to have two Americas, okay? You have pre-Civil Rights Act and post-Civil Rights Act. Pre-Immigration Act and post-Immigration Act. There are two different types of Americas. Anybody who's still operating the way they were before then, you done got a rude awakening. Because what we come to find out is, fam, these people ain't fleeing their countries because they're just so persecuted. These people ain't fleeing their countries because it's so bad there. They're fleeing their countries because they're cowards. And they don't want to build right here in the United States of America. They want to come over here to the United States of America and they want to steal. Remember that, family. When they get here, they don't want to build a damn thing. They just want to steal every damn thing. That's what they really want to do when they come here to our country. How do you know this? Because they didn't build, they steal in their own homeland. Family, somebody don't act this way on one side of the border and then act that way on the other side of the border. No place on the planet can you just show up, pop up, have a baby, and say that that baby is a citizen now. Me and you couldn't do that. Family, you name the place on the planet where we can go do that at, fam. You tell me right now. Where? You can't do that anywhere on the planet. Trust me, fam. The places that they flee from, they don't have birthright citizenship. So think about the irony there, Black folks. I'm telling you right now, you can't go to their homeland and be a citizen. Not that you would want to. So why in the hell can they come to our homeland and be a citizen? Now, let Black Alpha show you what Black Alpha's been showing the world for the last 3 years, and wasn't nobody listening. The majority of illegals who come to the United States of America, they get dropped off in places that occupy 80% of the Black American population. Yes, and nobody said a damn thing about it. So when they run around here and they try to shame us, it don't work. When they run around here, they try to blame us, it don't work. We brushing it all off, family. Because when you look, these people popping up at the border, your new American citizens, family, they coming over here and they looking like this. If you haven't seen this before, make sure you lock all the way in, family. Watch this.
India.
Where you going? Thank you. You?
India.
Where you going?
Oregon.
Thank you. You?
India.
Where you going?
New York.
Thank you.
India.
Where you going? Thank you.
India.
Where you going?
California.
Thank you. You?
India. California.
Stop. Family, look at this dude. You think this man give a damn about Dr. Martin Luther King? You think this man give a damn about Harriet Tubman? You think this man give a damn about you? Do you think he give a damn about the red, the white, or the blue? Do you really think this man has any allegiance to the United States of America? How the hell he get here in the first place? Family, that is an Indian man coming through the Mexican border, and somehow he knows where he's going, but he can't speak English. These people can't even speak English, but they know exactly where they're at and where they're going. Where are you going? Connecticut. Where are you going? Kentucky. Where are you going? New Jersey. These people got orders, family. Oh, this is way deeper than what you thought. We're going to break it all the way down today. We're going to talk about mass immigration, hidden immigration. We're going to talk about the Democrats and the Republicans, their affiliation, so they push this through. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court and why they allowed these things to happen. Oh, this is going to be one for the ages, family. But what I do know for certain, that man don't give a damn about America. But it gets worse.
Thank you. You?
America.
Thank you. Where you going?
California.
Who you? Where you going?
Indianapolis.
Okay, thank you. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Michigan. Where you from? ¿Dónde vienes? Where you going? Where you going? Where you from? Guinea. Where you going, sir?
I'm going to New York.
Thank you, sir. You?
Thank you.
Where you going?
Thank you.
Where you going?
Thank you.
What state are you going to?
I go to Senegal.
And you?
Senegal.
Are you going to New York?
Nice.
Where you going?
New York.
You?
Senegal.
You?
Louisville.
Fam, this is the damn We Are the World video. This is We Are the World, fam. They're coming from everywhere. And all they got to do is have a child, and that baby is a citizen, fam. Can vote and every damn thing.
Right.
Where you going?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where you coming from?
Mexicano.
Where you going?
Yeah, man.
Where you going? Where you going? ¿Dónde vienes?
Colombia.
¿A dónde vas, viejo?
Estados Unidos.
¿Y
Estados
usted?
Unidos.
¿A qué estado?
Texas.
Texas. ¿Y usted? ¿Y usted? Texas. ¿Y usted? ¿Viene? Okay. Where you from? Where you from?
I'm from Africa.
Where you going?
America.
Where you going? ¿Dónde vienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes? 12. ¿Vienes solo? Sí. Wow. Buenas noches. ¿Dónde vienes? ¿A qué estado te diriges?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Gracias. ¿Y usted? ¿De dónde viene?
South Carolina, he talking to you. He talking to you, South Carolina. And I want y'all to notice, a lot of these are men, but a lot of the women got their stomachs and their bellies covered, y'all, because they was out there humping in the damn desert. So they can have them a little desert baby. Watch it, y'all. It gets real. Watch this.
Guatemala. ¿Vas a Washington?
No, Kentucky.
¿A Kentucky? ¿Y usted, señorita?
Kentucky.
¿A Kentucky? ¿Y usted?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. ¿Y usted?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver. ¿Y usted?
Denver, Colorado.
¿Y usted?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver. ¿Y usted?
Denver.
Denver. ¿Y usted?
Denver.
Denver.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
There go the babies. Here come the kids, y'all. Here they go. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Julios. Here we go.
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Ecuador. ¿De dónde vienes? ¿A dónde vas?
Ecuador, Estados Unidos.
¿A qué estado? Espérate, ¿a qué
A
estado?
New Jersey.
A New Jersey. ¿Y tú?
A Houston.
A Houston. Gracias.
How the hell do they even know where they're going unless they got orders?
Virginia. New York. New York. New York. New Jersey. Manhattan.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Minneapolis. Arkansas. 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 Where you going? ¿Dónde vas? Arkansas. Okay, ¿y tú?
Omaha.
Omaha. ¿Y tú? Houston.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Nueva York. Minneapolis. Chicago.
There you go, family. Oh, fam, I could go on for another 10, 12 minutes. 10, 12 minutes of it, family, because what that is, family, that's birth tourism. This is what Donald Trump was talking about. And this is why so many people wanted to put an end to all of this birthright citizenship. So what ended up happening today, family, you ended up seeing this right here, birthright citizenship, 6-3 decision. Children born in the United States are U.S. citizens, fam. Yes. And there was a lot of turncoating that went on, family. Oh, yes, there was a lot of turncoating that went on. Because what you're seeing here now, fam, is a bipartisan effort. Yes, a lot of the people that were down with it were a bunch of liberal judges. Yes, the hell they were, family. Let's not get it tangled nor twisted. When you start talking about illegal immigration, you're talking about the dominant society as a whole and how they function and move as a whole. And now we see as a whole, these people are on a whole different playing field, y'all. And this is why Black Americans, certified foundational Black Americans, we knew that this was the play the whole damn time, and we've been watching it. So, family, what ended up happening is you have voted for to keep birthright citizenship the way it is. Sotomayor, Kagan, Jackson, Justice Roberts, Barrett, and Kavanaugh. Those are all who voted to keep it. The people who voted with Donald Trump's executive order to stop it as it is was Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, and Justice Gorsuch. Right there, family, you see, family, who was a turncoat, who was let's let anybody in, and who was saying we gonna sit back and we gonna let it all play out. And family, this has been something that has been devastating to a lot of people out there. It's been devastating to a lot of the naysayers. And one of the things that came out above that, family, you seen Justice Clarence Thomas, and he came out and he was saying how I'm not sure that today's opinion will stand the test of time. The citizenship clause, it added greatly to the dignity and the glory of American citizenship. Yes, indeed. And he talks about how it devalues the citizenship and how basically and respectively it creates a dissent. And I want everybody to see right here exactly what we mean.
Back to Shannon Bream for the view from Justice Thomas, who was a dissenter here. Shannon.
Yeah, in his dissent, he gets to that point, Bill, that you're making there. The 14th Amendment was enacted in the wake of the Civil War, quote, with the one pervading purpose of securing equal citizenship for the freed slaves. He writes, it was enacted, as Justice Harlan wrote, to secure to a race recently emancipated the civil rights that other citizens enjoyed. So Thomas has always been about that was the purpose of the 14th Amendment. He goes on to say that the court, meaning the majority now, has repurposed the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated and that cannot find support in the text. Today, the court does so by recognizing a constitutional right to citizenship for the children of all foreign birth tourists and illegal aliens. Uses very specific language there. Again, Justice Thomas adhering and agreeing with the government's argument, with which they made here very passionately, that the 14th Amendment was about protecting the children of freed slaves and not what we've come to understand it as. You see his language there. He mentions birth tourism. It came up in the arguments, and clearly that's a very big concern of the dissenters. We also have dissents by Justice Alito and others.
Back to Shannon Bream for
Clarence Thomas was speaking lineage talk. Now, I know Clarence Thomas be out there tap dancing. I understand that. But family, we talking business up in here tonight. And everything he said was absolutely, positively, 100% correct, family. Okay? This is about lineage. And everything now has to be lineage, family. And I'm going to tell you right now, the movement and the agenda and the apparatus and the approach that foundational Black Americans have been on is thorough. And I'm going to tell you why we've been so thorough. All that race talk, family, that don't mean nothing. Because when you start talking race, people just going to show up and say, oh, I look like you, brother. You know what I'm talking about? People going to show up and say, hey, can't we all get along? None of that, y'all. Everything has to be lineage specific, nationality specific. And what they ended up doing, y'all, they ended up highlighting something that we've been talking about a long time ago. When you speak about birth tourism and people just showing up on your doorstep, fam, and just showing up and saying, hey, I'm a part of the family, that right there is the loophole that they've been searching in that we wouldn't allow these people to get from us. It's kind of like this, fam. Imagine a woman shows up at your house. She knocks on your door. As soon as you open the door, she runs in your house, and then she has a baby right there in the living room, right on the floor. And then when you tell this lady she need to leave, they say, no, this lady now is an occupant of your house. Don't pay no rent, don't pay no mortgage, ain't put a damn piece of food in the refrigerator. But now this person is a part of your house, and you got to take care of it. Now, I want you to take that one woman family, I want you to multiply that by the millions. That right there is birthright citizenship in the loophole form that we all see today. This is why Americans with sense, we've been simply pointing to the Constitution and saying, hell no. And don't get it tangled and twisted, fam. This isn't about them trying to decipher the Constitution. This isn't them trying to decipher any amendments. They know exactly what it is. They know exactly how it's been, and they know exactly the way it should be played out. They playing games, y'all. They playing games because they've already told you that they want illegals to come into this country. Well, let Black Alpha go ahead and tell everybody what it's going to be. I seen a bunch of people earlier, and there was a lot of different opinions, a lot of different views. We understand now the way it's turned out. Right there on your screen, family, you can see clear as damn day. The Supreme Court rejects the President Trump and his attempt to end birthright citizenship. We all see that. But let me tell you something. A lot of folks now are looking at this situation and we saying, oh, it's about to get hot. It's about to get real hot right now. Because if you know the system of supremacy, like I know the system of supremacy, Mr. Jethro, Mrs. Annie Mae, and Mr. Billy Bob, they ain't going to take that too lightly. A lot of these immigrants is running around here right now, and they getting real bold. They talking real reckless. They saying some things that they shouldn't be saying. But let me tell you what the word on the curb is, fam. Word on the curb is that Billy Bob and Jethro, they saying what the Supreme Court won't do, the trailer park will. Yes, the hell they are. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, it's about to get real. It's about to get real, fam. Oh, it's about to go all the way down. Yes, because if you're looking at it the way we're looking at it, then you already know it's about to be mayo on migrant crime. and I'm going to FBA my way out. Watch this right here, family. Check this out. Here you go. These folks is wilding.
The hell do you mean? And now anybody can just come into my country and have a baby, and then the baby's an American? I don't understand what the Supreme Court doing there, to make everybody able to just be an American without even having to be white. I don't understand.
Well, there's one thing I can tell you right now, that this Supreme Court decision that just happened is...
I thought it was a joke too, fam, till I found out the guy who runs the page is making fun of this guy. They serious. Oh, it's about to get hot.
And now anybody can just come into my country and have a baby, and then the baby's an American. I don't understand what the Supreme Court doing there, to make everybody...
This man said Supreme Court. He said, I ain't even going to get the word out correctly. I'm just that mad.
Able to just be an American without even having to be white. I don't understand.
Well, there's one thing I can tell you right now, that this Supreme Court decision that just happened is absolutely going to further divide the United States of America. Because it's newsflash just coming in that the courts just rejected Donald Trump's request and efforts to limit birthright citizenship. 14th Amendment will continue to stand. Illegal immigrants pouring into this country, having children over here in the United States of America, are now citizens of this country. So that makes a lot of sense. So I guess we'll just keep the children and send the parents back home to where they came from. One thing I can tell you is that
He mad, ain't he? Boy, you done piss off all the trailer park. Yes.
way is that this is the end of this conversation.
Uh-oh.
Even as somebody who doesn't agree with this decision, I am not in favor.
Whoa, no way this is the end of the conversation. Mayo threats.
One thing I can tell you is that no way is that this is the end of this conversation. Even as somebody who doesn't agree with this decision, I am not in favor of separating parents from their kids. Is that no way is that this is the end of this conversation. Is that this is the end of this conversation. Even as somebody who doesn't agree with this decision, I am not in favor of separating parents from their kids. This debate is not going away anytime soon. You see, for a lot of Americans like myself, this isn't just about one executive order. It's about what the Constitution means to every single one of us. It simply means who gets to change it and whether immigration laws should be written by Congress or the courts or by future constitutional amendments. But you want to know the truth? After this is all said and done, I believe this conversation is just getting going. I believe this hasn't even started yet.
Uh-oh. What you mean it ain't started yet? What you mean it's just getting going? Tell us how you really feel. You see, this right here, fam, is exactly what we've been talking about on the Black Alpha Network for the longest amount of time. Shout out to all my certifieds who know exactly where we're going with this. When you start talking about the system of supremacy, it gets way more complex than Democrat and Republican. See, them folks running around here and they talking about liberal conservative, and that's how they see things, fam. We see things through the lens of Black American empowerment. And once you understand that, you understand the system of supremacy. See, they never liked Donald Trump like that. Let's be real, fam. You got people running around here right now and they're calling out Donald Trump. And I'm talking about Republicans. Why are a lot of Republicans mad at Donald Trump? Because they're looking at Donald Trump right now and they're saying, wait a minute now. You trying to take away these illegals? Family, here's a newsflash. A lot of Republicans love illegals too. When you come down south to a red state, you look up on rooftops, family, you're going to see a lot of Julios laying down tiles. And they're not just hired by Democrats. I understand if you're living in a Democrat, conservative, Republican world, liberalism. But when you're talking about the system of supremacy, fam, these folks don't give a damn about none of that. It's all about money. Donald Trump is what I call a rogue supremacist, meaning he does what the hell he wants to do, how the hell he wants to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, look, fam, what did the Republicans stop? What did the Republicans stop, fam? Let's go there. Because as the Supreme Court just came back and they ruled to keep birthright citizenship the way it is, meaning any illegal can have a baby. Also at the same time, fam, you still have that mail-in ballots. They never stopped any of that. So illegals can still vote. Family, this is a majority conservative Supreme Court. And you still have birthright citizenship. You still have the mail-in ballots. And family, they haven't did anything with the SAVE Act. Right there, fam, that looks like liberal. If I didn't give you any type of acknowledgement, if I didn't tell you who was behind this, you would think that that came from a bunch of Democrats. But it didn't. It came from a bunch of Republicans, family. Yes, because at the end of the damn day, the Republican who's a politician, and then Jethro in the trailer park, there's a difference, fam. MAGA is not just Republican, okay? You have a civil war going on right there in their community. That's what the rhinos are all about. You know, Republican in name only. Why you think Jim Clyburn is still here? Let's go there, fam. Let's come on down to the South, y'all. They said all roads lead to the South. Well, I'm in the South. Family, Jim Clyburn was able to keep his position because he made deals with Republicans. Yes, the hell he did. He made a lot of deals with Republicans. Yes, the hell he did. Those people don't really like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always been a rogue supremacist, fam. He's a guy who came off the streets into the political world. You damn right they ain't really rocking with him like that. So right now you got a lot of them who are going against them and they saying, wait, hold up, wait a minute. So this is why we were telling everybody, a lot of these folks who've been running around here and they've been so obsessive about voting Republican. Remember, y'all, that doesn't just mean you're voting for MAGA or you're voting for anti-immigration, pro-deportation. Look at this right here, y'all. If you don't believe it, look it up. Look at this right here, fam. A lot of folks is out there wilding it out, and I want y'all to see who they're talking about.
Our lawmakers are acting. So it says the Supreme Court is putting the illegal immigrants over the future of American children. We cannot continue to support this invasion taking place. Congress must act before it's too late. This is exactly why I introduced H.J. Res. 172, a constitutional amendment that ends birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants. We have many ways of going about this. This Supreme Court, we can make this work. We are the people. Our lawmakers are acting. So it says the Supreme Court is putting the illegal immigrants over the future of American children. We cannot continue to support this invasion.
Look at that, fam. They putting the illegal immigrants over the future of their children. That ain't looking too good for all that unity over there, family. That ain't looking too good for all that we on the same page, fam. That's looking real troublesome on their side of town. Yes, the hell it is. But it don't just stop there. No. Something came across my feed today that I want to show everybody. Family, this right here is in Mississippi. Look what's going on in Mississippi, fam. Oh, there's a lot of civil wars. I've been telling everybody about it. Look at this.
Oh, y'all, I saw this saying I had to pull over and record it. Now, mind you, I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. Good red, Republican Mississippi. You know this got to be bad. Oh, y'all, I saw this saying I had to pull over and record it. Now,
MAGA, a national embarrassment. In Mississippi? What's going on in Mississippi? Why they feeling that way in Mississippi? What's really good in the hood in Mississippi? That's very telling and very interesting about what's happening over there, family. Oh, yeah, a lot of them is looking at Trump and they not really feeling how he's been, governing the United States of America. A lot of them is looking at that stuff and they saying, whoa. But that goes to show you, family, that's exactly why things are going to turn up. That's exactly why things are going to go all the way up. And that's exactly why foundational Black Americans are exactly where we are. Let me make this clear, y'all, because I've seen a lot of people running around here and folks are sitting saying, damn, this is a bad day. It ain't a bad day for who? Who? Family, at the end of the day, let me tell you something, family. It don't matter if your child comes here and they get to be a citizen of the United States of America, because your ass can still get deported. Folks is acting like deportation went away. Did deportation go away? No. Did deportation end? No. Is ICE still out here in the streets? Yep. And I'm already seeing W's are coming out. Oh, and they talking reckless, family. Let me show y'all what they out here saying. Y'all look at this right here. This is what I mean. And look at your screen, family. They're already out here and they saying, oh, yeah, that's how y'all want to play the game? Well, when all these things right here happen, you know who to blame. Family, they say clear as day. They said when we denaturalize anti-American foreigners and fraudsters, blame Roberts and Barrett. When we criminally prosecute birth tourism and foreign fraud, blame Roberts and Barrett. Roberts and Barrett weaponize our Constitution against true birthright citizens of the U.S. There are consequences. Oh, yeah, Oh, yeah, fam. Oh, then they not taking this lightly. They not taking this lightly at all. They're already saying they going to get their clap back. They saying they going to get their clap back. It's coming. It's over with. They going to make sure that every single person out there that done came to the United States of America is going to get their just due. They're already saying we can do this in other ways. Let's go to Congress. Family, they are not sitting back just watching this. They already telling everybody exactly who they're after and exactly who they're targeting. The dominant society is about to clean house with these illegals. Trust me when I tell you that, family. You can go ahead and come on over here. Let me go ahead and let me see the faces of the family real quick. Let me make this clear, okay? You can go ahead and come on over here and you can have your baby behind that dumpster, okay? Right behind that trash can, right behind that restaurant or that gas station. But guess what? Soon as you get that baby and you pick them up and you go home, y'all gonna get deported. And I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna happen, family. Because now they're already making new laws that say, well, since we can't stop birthright citizenship, then how about we just stop pregnant women from coming to America? Oh, yeah, fam. When they want to get something done, they're going to get it done. They started writing this very fast. Y'all look at this right here, fam. They have already put out a bill, and the bill is saying, you come to America and your ass is pregnant, then you got to go right on back to where the hell you came from. Watch this.
Congressman Andy Ogles here. Breaking news. I don't know if you're paying attention, but the Supreme Court just had a horrible decision as it pertains to birthright citizenship. And I would even say really betrayed America when it comes to birthright citizenship. So I have a bill that's going to address it from the legislative perspective. Look, we are co-equal branches of government. Our founding fathers warned us against an all too powerful judiciary. And you see that playing out right now. So I have a bill. It'll be called Anchors Away. Which, look, if you're not a U.S. citizen, if you're not a green card
Anchors Away
holder and you have a child on U.S. soil, today that child would be a U.S. citizen. Under my bill, under my legislation, we fix that and go back to what our founders intended. So in short, what this bill does is if you are a pregnant woman, you can't come into this country. You've got to be a citizen, be here. You have to have a green card holder. So if you're pregnant and you don't have one of those statuses, no admittance allowed. Congressman Andy Ogles here.
Anchors Away, family. Oh, yeah. I told you we're going to break this down the real way. We're going to get straight to it, family, the way we do over here. Yes, indeed. Anchors Away. And they're telling everybody, come on over here pregnant, and we're going to send you right on out. Fam, he was sitting on that, wasn't he? Wasn't he sitting on that one, family? He was ready. He said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get these people up out of here. We're going to pass this law immediately. And it looked like he was just wondering, when the hell can I drop this? Well, there you go, fam. He was expecting this to come back the way it did. And now they've already got one written. I'm going to say it now, y'all. What you're going to see is a bunch of these Julio Romeros and Gonzaleses out here. And they better be careful when they talk like this.
You can't get rid of us. Shoot, birthright citizenship stays. Looks like Mr. Trump's plan on getting rid of birthright citizenship to get rid of all people from everywhere has just failed. This is a win for us, for everybody that comes from everywhere. So yeah, just to sum it up, Trump signed an executive order to try to get rid of birthright citizenship. So he didn't like people fleeing into the country, giving birth here to babies so they can be U.S. citizens. And the Supreme Court just upheld it. So that means it ain't going to be taken away because that will go against our Constitution. So if you were born here, you're still considered a U.S. citizen. And everybody try to get here and have a baby. Shoot. Be safe.
Why he acting like he can't still get deported, though? Fam, I'm saying, why are they acting like they can't still get deported? This is clear as day, fam. He's out there just saying, well, you know, you can't get rid of us. Did you hear about deportation? Fam, why are they acting like deportation ain't still knocking on that door? You can still get deported there, Julio. Just a little word to the wise.
So if you Hispanic, Mexican, Asian, Indian, Any Middle Eastern, Filipino, anything. You're safe. We won.
Hey, notice he left out the Africans and the Haitians and the Jamaicans. Fam, y'all see right there? Notice he go through all these different people. He didn't say African. He didn't say Jamaican. He didn't say Haitian. He skipped over all that.
Any Middle Eastern, Filipino, anything. You're safe. We won. So Trump, with that executive order, you can shove it up your... Yeah, so what do you think of this ruling? You can't get rid of us.
Talking reckless, y'all. They talking super reckless because somehow they've got it tangled and twisted. Somehow they believe just because birthright citizenship is intact, that deportations went away. They somehow believe that just because birthright citizenship is still functioning the way it has wrongly, they can't still get deported. Deportation and birthright citizenship, fam, one ain't got nothing to do with the other. One ain't got nothing to do with the other. Let me tell you something, fam. Let me tell y'all something. Birthright citizenship didn't go from just us today to everybody today. Family, the way birthright citizenship is right now is the same way it was a year ago, same way it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't know why people are running around here right now acting like something changed. I'm here to let you know, fam, nothing has changed. We been knew that they use this as a loophole. These people been taking advantage of the system. What Trump tried to do is stop them from having a loophole. But fam, this been going on. Ain't nothing brand new. So these people are running around here today acting like this is something that is a first-time event. This ain't a first-time event, y'all. This has been going on our whole lives. They've been using this. What people try to do is put a stop to it, but that doesn't mean that this situation saves them from deportations, okay? Family, ICE at the same exact time just got a big old blank check. Yes, they did. Also, fam, they're cutting off all these people who do birth tourism. They're also at the same time cutting off people from getting loans when they come here to the United States of America. And I'm going to tell you right now, after today's decision, Mr. Julio Romero Pedro, he ain't going to be running around here thinking that. Because let me tell you something. If he thinks that he's going to be saved when ICE come knocking down his door, he's sadly MF mistaken. But I want him to keep on talking. Fam, I'm going to tell you right now, I want all the tethers who are out there thinking that they have a tether holiday, an immigrant holiday. They think they won something that never changed. They think they won something that never stopped. Family, right now, as we speak, ICE is rounding up people clearly on the East Coast and the West Coast and down south. You think that stopped because of the birthright citizenship ruling today? Hell to the no. It's going to get real in the field. And watch what Donald Trump came out and said today, y'all. Look what he said. He said he wants to congratulate the president of China, and the great country of China. And he said on their massive birthright citizenship win, President Donald Trump. Because everybody knows that the people who've been coming over here, for the most part, are Chinese. Because they understand how to infiltrate the system from within. And they understand how to infiltrate the system by scamming us and using these loopholes. Yes, the hell they do. But see, fam, when you start talking about birthright citizenship and you start talking about birth tourism, family, look at your screen right here. This is a real in-depth breakdown of it. Fam, they're coming over here by the millions, one by one by one. And it's only going to turn things up further. Watch this.
It's sold as the ultimate U.S. tour package for wealthy pregnant women around the globe. It's called maternity tourism, and it's big business.
Right now, the advertised rate from $15,000 to $50,000.
That's air, hotel, medical care, and the guarantee of an American-born baby. In Manhattan, a luxury hotel caters to wealthy Turkish women. In Tucson, rich Mexican women fly in on private jets. And in Los Angeles, affluent Chinese mothers are boarded in stately townhomes. They give birth, then recover till they're able to return home. In these townhouses, inspectors had been called out to investigate on 3 separate occasions. They found the townhouses had been converted into a multi-unit facility, and the kitchen was turned into a nursery for newborns. While it was shut down for multiple city code violations, there's nothing illegal about coming to the U.S. to have a baby.
So this is a hot topic for the show.
Kat Chow is the host of a Chinese radio show. She says L.A. is a hub.
It's like insurance, isn't it? For your future. There you go, insurance. Well, I think parents, they really want to do everything for the kids.
Attorney Daniel Deng says while maternity tourism is controversial, it's a fast...
They're openly telling everybody, fam. It's commercial. They're just telling everybody. They've been doing this. Ain't no secret.
Track to citizenship for the privileged.
They could enjoy the retirement benefit and also the best medical care that the government can offer.
I went to meet one of the customers. When is your baby due? She declined to appear on camera, but told me she's from Shanghai and here on a tourist visa.
Part of the immigration debate is that you should do it the right way and you need to wait in line. These people who have money aren't waiting in line, are they? No, they are not waiting in line. However, they did not violate any law. Okay, and again, if you really want to stop it, if U.S. government really want to stop this, you got to make the law. You're going to change the law.
If the U.S. government really wants to stop it, you got to change the law. Family, they attempted to change the law, and the Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court blocked it. The Supreme Court rejected it. So put that together as you may, family, but you can see there's something going on.
House says until that happens, the wealthy will continue to come, give birth, and return home with their precious. It's sold as
They call anchor babies precious cargo. Yes, family. They call these damn babies precious cargo. I done seen and heard it all. And they lining up right there at the border, y'all. There go the border right there. That's the border right there of the United States, fam. There you go. And they said, we going to come on in and we going to get this precious cargo and we going to drop it off and then we out. My cargo, escargot. That's what they saying, y'all. And they make no bones about it. They said, we going to keep it this way. It's going to be this way and it's going to stay this way. That's how these people have been interpreting this whole situation, okay? So, like we said, family, because y'all know Black Alpha, I'm going to break it all the way down, and I'm going to keep it all the way certified. What's the certified way, family? Is that you understand Republican and Democrat. No longer can you look at immigration as just a Democratic issue. Democrats are the ones who are hyper fixated on it. Republicans get down with it too, y'all. I'm talking about the Supreme Court done went ahead and said, you know what? We're going to rock with the Democratic issue on this one. We're going to rock with the liberal issue on this one. That shows you exactly how they're operating. So when these people come here to the United States of America and they have these babies and they just drop them little babies off, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, them kids grow up, they have no allegiance. A lot of people are saying that eventually this type of open borders and birth tourism is going to affect America in a bad way. And eventually some of those little Julios, okay, and those little Mustafas and them little Lubumbas and them little Pedros, they're going to all grow up to be, you know, tomorrow's criminals that want to do something harmful to America. I'm just saying, fam, we only keeping it real. We only keeping it real because we understand that's exactly the way these people function. And everybody knows that when you start talking about the United States of America and you start talking about birthright citizenship again, fam, this isn't up for debate. They turn this into a debate because I want to say this, fam. What's the policy about immigration? I ask everybody in the chat right now, what's the real policy on immigration? Immigration is the most vague, the most broken, the most shattered conversation in the United States of America. You start talking about birthright citizenship, and they're literally trying to tell us the Constitution don't say what it says. When you start talking about TPS, when literally temporary is in the damn phrase, they still speak like it's permanent. Fam, all those people mad right now about TPS, they not talking like they ever planned on going home. They weren't talking like it ever said anything about temporary. Y'all look at all them Haitians right now. Look at all the Democrats and Republicans right now. Fam, they're not talking like TPS was ever anything temporary. Sounded like they had their minds on everything being permanent. Because in reality, y'all, we have a full-time open borders and a full-time open influx of illegals coming to the United States of America, and nobody's going to say it. Fam, let's just say it for what it is, okay? These people want everybody to come to America. They don't give a damn. That's it. That's your immigration policy, fam. They don't care. They don't care. If they let it have the way they want it to be, fam, anybody will come in. Anybody come in, anybody show up, and they'll just do whatever the hell they want to do. There's no rules. Fam, there's no rules in immigration. Let's say this now, fam, okay? I'm going to make this crystal clear, all right? There's no rules with illegal immigration in the United States of America. Not at all. You got one party that says this, another party that says that. Some people in the Republican Party, they vote with the Democrats. They pay them on the low. You got Julios out here getting broke off. And by the way, let's say this as well. Another major thing that came up just recently, fam, with the Supreme Court, they now have allowed corporations to be seen as basically citizens to where now that's been happening for a while. However, they upped the ante, fam. Now they made sure that campaigns can have unlimited spending. So what that does now, fam, is they're going to start bringing in illegals on a low tax rate. So they get to come in. I told you I'm going to connect all the dots. I told you we number one around here. That's what's happening. All of this is happening in conjunction, fam. All of this is happening in conjunction. The mail-in ballots, that's still going on. They can't get the SAVE Act, that's still going on. Birthright citizenship, still going on. And now they're allowing these corporations and all these different people to have an open influx of campaign money that they can spend, which in essence is going to bring in these illegals on a low tax rate so they can flood the zone. That's it. And a lot of people think that they're going to run to the Republicans. Fam, I'm asking again, what have the Republicans, not Donald Trump, what have the Republicans done when you start talking about stopping these illegal immigrants? Nothing. Because you're finding out what I've been saying the whole time is that the Democrats and the Republicans are Bopsy twins that swear they don't look alike. See, we're still breaking it down through the system of supremacy. We're still breaking it down through those lenses. I know people get so caught up in the left and right, the conservative and Democrat. I want y'all to think about it, fam. 10 years ago, we always talked about the system of supremacy, how it functions and how it operates. Now, a lot of people get caught up in the tether perspectives. They start talking about the Haitians. They don't really get into the system of supremacy. We still talk about that right here on the Black Alpha Network. My brother Tariq still talks about it. But a lot of folks, they just skip over the system of supremacy, fam, and they just start babbling. Let me show everybody this right here, fam. This is exactly what I mean. We been knew that this is all about foundational Black Americans. Why we playing?
It does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States. It's all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That amendment was passed coming out of the Civil War. There's a reason it was passed coming out of the Civil War. Congress was afraid the Democrats would try to undermine the results of that war by forbidding former slaves from voting. And clearly that's what the amendment was supposed to deal with. It did not include anybody who just happened to show up here and have a baby and move on. Any congressman at that time is going to be seen from the debate on the floor at that time. That resulted in what we are now referring to as birthright citizenship. It was supposed to be limited to slaves. You were only subject to the jurisdiction thereof if you were a former slave. A person who came here from France and was just passing through, their child would not become a citizen. That should be obvious. It does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States.
It's always been about Black Americans, y'all. It's always been about us. It's always been about certified foundational Black Americans. Don't let these people get it tangled and twisted. They're only trying to do this so they can provide our foundational Black American accomplishments and give it to illegals. Family, I hate to say we were always right, but damn it, we was always right. Wasn't it foundational Black Americans who were the first ones who started calling out illegal immigrants? Because I want everybody to notice, when Donald Trump ran the first time, all they said was build that wall. They never really broke this down verbatim, and they never really got into the meat and potatoes of the situation, did they? We were the ones who really broke it down thoroughly because they were coming into our neighborhoods, into our areas. They were occupying our space. We're the ones who made the first fuss about it. And now everybody's seeing the way it's happening. Family, America is going right down the line and it's about to get real close to what it looks like over in Europe. That's what you're going to see, fam. All right. Let me make this clear. It's going to be Europe times 10. Because, you know, in Europe right now, they got a full-fledged blitz on all of them illegals, fam. It's about to be a Mayo assault. That's what's about to happen, fam. It's about to be a full-fledged Mayo assault. Because when I'm looking, a lot of them are saying America has been betrayed. Now they're going into their war tactics. Y'all know when they start talking them very, very hyperbolic terms and they start saying assault and a war and an invasion, they're saying that right now. That's what they're saying right now. This ruling today is the final line in the sand. It's been drawn. And the Mayos are about to go on a full assault on anything illegal. Trust me, y'all. It's going to be an uptick. And the reason why it's going to be that way, family, is because when you watch and you witness everything and you see how hot and bothered these people are, I don't think these folks is trying to hit no U-turns, y'all. I don't see it happening. But what I do see happening is stuff like this. Look at this right here. Look at your screen, fam. A lot of people are calling out a particular person that's not even the president. Watch this.
This is why you can't vote for Vance. Because this is why you can't vote for Vance. This is why you can't vote for Vance because he's not even going hard on H-1Bs because he's married to a fucking Hindu bitch. So it says Barrett is going to oppose the reversal of birthright citizenship because she has 2 adopted children from Haiti. You're about to find out why I'd never support Olivier, Vance, or any other politician with foreigners in their immediate family. These things do matter, absolutely. And I'm telling you as someone who's not white. This is why you can't vote for Vance. Because this is why you can't vote for Vance. This is why you can't vote for Vance.
They got their sights on JD Vance. They looking at JD Vance right now and they saying, who that's sitting next to you, JD? I don't like who you got on your arms there, JD. Yeah, they've been on JD Vance's bumper for quite some time, ain't they? Black Americans, we've been calling it out. We've been saying it. I know they scared. They a bunch of cowards. They don't really want to talk about it. We gonna talk about it. They looking at JD Vance right now and they saying, you got a Kamala Harris lookalike. Right there on your arm. One more time.
Because he's not even going hard on H-1Bs because he's married to a fucking Hindu bitch. So it says Barrett is going to oppose the reversal of birthright citizenship because she has 2 adopted children from Haiti. You're about
Damn, JD. I know you ain't gonna let them talk about you like that. There goes the final dot that I told you I was gonna connect, family. Consider it connected. This is what you're seeing right now. You have MAGA, and then you have Republicans. And then you have Republicans, and then you have rhinos, Republican in name only. All 3 of them, fam, are having their own feuds and conflicts. So all the people trying to tell you as a Black American that we need to run to the Republicans because the Democrats are so bad, do you see what you're getting right now in terms of immigration policies from the Republicans? Damn sure, not a damn thing, okay? Damn sure, not a damn thing. You're getting damn near the same policies that the Democrats is giving you. One wants to give you mass immigration. The other wants to give you almost mass immigration. They're not really trying to stop it. No. So when you start seeing Donald Trump and he's getting all this pushback, what the hell are we talking about? Governor Santos in Florida came out, and you know who he said was some of his major pushback that he received about the TPS from Haitian? He said it came from Republicans. He said, fam, Governor Santos in Florida, he said, some of the most pushback he got about TPS and Haitian came from Republicans. What about that anti-Hindu bill? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Remember the anti-Hindu bill that just came out? Let me tell you something that nobody's been talking about. Soon as that came out, a lot of folks was going in on the Democrats. It was like, damn, here go the Democrats again. Family, that was sponsored and that was authored by Republicans in my home state of Georgia. Last time I checked, Georgia is a red state and it's in the Deep South. So let's get this right. Republicans, Deep South, red state, sponsored, authored an anti-immigrant bill, an anti-immigrant Hindu bill. And it had nothing to do with the Democrats in the initial stages. But guess what? The Democrats voted for it. Damn, it was bipartisan. Wait a minute now. So you mean to tell me that Democrats and Republicans both shook hands, smiled, and went and had lunch at a country club and had some Brussels sprouts all together in the name of immigrants? Oh, man, they told us that's not what happens. They told us they don't do that. They told us that's not the way they go. But it is. So you see what we're talking about now, family. This is a bipartisan issue. If you think for 1 second this is just pushed off to one side and it's only one group, no, family. This goes all the way across the board, all the way across the spectrum, and you're witnessing it. And it's our job to break it all the way down. That's exactly what we're doing. And we're doing it our way, family, because that's the certified way. Let me show y'all what they're talking about right now. Now you also have a bunch of them Republicans in the streets, and they're saying they've been betrayed.
The liberal wing of the Supreme Court, joined by John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, just did the unthinkable. Many of us expected them to overturn Donald Trump's birthright citizenship executive order, but I don't think anybody expected them to go this far. Folks, this is what the internationalist long game looks like. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court has ruled that the 14th Amendment guarantees birthright citizenship to children born in the United States, including those born to parents who are here illegally or on temporary status. This is unthinkable, but it's not surprising. As a matter of fact, about 45 minutes before this ruling came down, I posted on my X account, and I've been saying for weeks now that this Supreme Court, particularly John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, do not have the courage to do hard things and deal with the Constitution and the way that it should be dealt with. Instead, they seem to care more about him being invited to cocktail parties and hanging out in Norm Eisen's social circles.
AKA at the country club eating Brussels sprouts. Fam, those are your conservative judges. Let's go further.
There you have it, folks. Breaking news. Supreme Court upholds birthright citizenship for children born in the United States, even if their parents are here illegally. Justices Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett joined the 3 liberal justices. Now, the people who wrote the 14th Amendment after the Civil War did not have this in mind at all. It was meant to make sure that freed slaves and their children were full citizens. The subject to the jurisdiction thereof language was there for a reason, to exclude people who didn't really owe allegiance to the United States, like foreign diplomats or invaders. It wasn't a loophole for anyone who manages to cross illegally and pop out a baby. Now, this whole setup rewards breaking the law. You jump the border illegally, pop out a kid, and suddenly you've got an anchor that makes it way harder to report the parents and gives the family access to all kinds of government stuff. That's not border policy. It's an invitation. We had a good run. Let me know what you guys think about this ruling. There you have it, folks. Breaking news.
He said we had a good run. He trying to throw in the towel. Fam, let's go to the Mayo side of town. We're going to break this down. I'm going to show you how these Mayos are taking the news. It ain't too good in the hood.
Now, we've all seen the Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship, which is one of the dumbest rulings, most ridiculous rulings I've ever seen. But I wanted to talk about this example that Tim Pool lays out here. I think we've all seen different examples. This is a crazy example. This is the way I understand the Supreme Court ruling, as well as Tim Pool and many others. Basically, anybody from anywhere can enter our country for any reason, have a child, and that child is a U.S. citizen. So Tim Pool lays out this example. So a Chinese national can give birth to a child in Guam, and that child could then never step foot on the homeland or whatever, could be raised in China, but it is considered an actual, natural citizen of the United States of America. So he or she would be eligible to be president of the United States of America, okay? When you have birthright citizenship in the United States of America, that trumps other types of citizenship. It opens up other doors. These people are considered the same as any other heritage American, and that is just not okay with me. This is a major issue. I don't know where we go from here.
There goes that heritage American again, fam. They're knockoff foundational. Here we go again. Let's go. They ain't done.
Justice Clarence Thomas also dissented today in the Supreme Court's decision to make birthright citizenship the law of the land. Justice Thomas explained that the purpose of the 14th Amendment was to protect the children of freed slaves in America and not the children of tourists in America. Take a listen.
Yeah, in his dissent, he gets to that point, Bill, that you're making there. The 14th Amendment was enacted in the wake of the Civil War, quote, with the one pervading purpose of securing equal citizenship for the freed slaves. He writes, it was enacted, as Justice Harlan wrote, to secure to a race recently emancipated the civil rights that other citizens enjoyed. So Thomas has always been about, that was the purpose of the 14th Amendment. He goes on to say that the court, meaning the majority now, has repurposed the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated, and that cannot find support in the text. Today, the court does so by recognizing a constitutional right to citizenship for the children of all foreign birth tourists and illegal aliens. Uses very specific language there. Again, Justice Thomas adhering and agreeing with the government's argument, which they made here very passionately, that the 14th Amendment was about protecting the children of freed slaves and not what we've come to understand it as. You see his language there. He mentions birth tourism. It came up in the arguments, and clearly that's a very big concern of the dissenters. We also have dissents by Justice Alito and others, so we'll read those as well.
How are you guys feeling about this?
Fam, and it wouldn't be the Mayos without Mayo Megan.
Essentially happen now is that anybody from China can come over here, have a baby, and that baby will be an American no matter what. They can leave the day after the child is born, the minute after the child is born. And honestly, there was a real question. I, like many people, when I first saw this, the challenge to this was long before President Trump's executive order. It was written by a legal scholar, and saying this is not what the founders intended. I too thought, what do you mean? That this is sort of how we all grew up, thinking that if you're born here, you're a citizen, and that's kind of the end of it. If you actually look at the history of that practice here in the United States, and then what happened after the 14th Amendment was passed, you see that's wrong. You find out that that's actually not the way the 14th Amendment was treated, the way the founders understood this country would operate, and there was plenty of basis to strike down birthright tourism.
Hey, she damn near speechless, fam. Watch her, fam. She can barely get her words out. She's in Mayo disgust.
Plenty of basis to strike down. Understood this country would operate, and there was plenty of basis to strike down birthright tourism based on the particular phrasing of the 14th Amendment.
No. Family, let me tell you something. Fam, a lot of people was asking me, they were saying, Black Alpha, how you seeing this situation? Black Alpha, how you gonna go about it? Black Alpha, we can't wait to hear what's on your mind. Fam, I'm gonna give it to you straight, okay? Because that's the only way I know how. Live and direct, fam. Yes. Family, they could have all got this settled if they would have listened to foundational Black Americans. No, don't sit here now and talk about the 14th Amendment. Don't sit here now and talk about the illegals versus Black Americans, because when we were talking about reparations for foundational Black Americans as a lineage, heritage, and culture specifically, y'all want to say, no, it was a long time ago. I never earned anything from slavery. I never owned no slaves neither. Nah. Y'all wanted to hit us with the whole, I never owned no slaves. You should have been listening to foundational Black Americans a long time ago when none of this be going on. Like always, fam, we're always in front. We're always ahead. We always lead the fray. That's the FBA way, family. So when I'm sitting here looking at all these mayos and they're disgusted and they're breaking down and they're upset and they're having all these little Miracle Whip nightmares, good. Because y'all knew damn well that this was all about foundational Black Americans, okay? The 14th Amendment is all about certified foundational Black Americans. That is it. There's no debate. Y'all allowed these other people to turn it into a debate because you turned your head when we were talking about being lineage specific. Soon as we start talking about lineage specific, you knew we was going to apply that to reparations, but you didn't want to support reparations. You want to throw a wrench in reparations. You want to say that you never earned or owned any slaves. Now look at you. There's no remorse, fam. They're getting what they got. They're getting what they got. That's what happens with these individuals, fam. They always look at foundational Black Americans funny style, and then when it turns around, they say, come on over here and help us. Hell to the no. Family, it's like this. People want to know what we're going to do. We're going to do what we always do, fam. We're going to hold it down. We're going to stay certified. We're going to focus on what we're focusing on. Can't nothing stop us. But let me tell you something that ended up occurring, and this is monumental. This is powerful, and we're going to use this to our advantage, fam. What we're going to do now with certified foundational Black Americans, y'all, we're going to simply say this. Easy work. Y'all now, by mentioning the 14th Amendment, you just acknowledge that foundational Black Americans as a lineage is a specific lineage, heritage, and culture. You just specified that we are an exclusive direct heritage. You just acknowledge that we are one of one. Every time they mention the 14th Amendment and they say that it applies to the babies of slaves, they're talking about freedmen. So now we're going to force them to apply that same type of logic to our reparations. Don't bring up the babies of slaves when you're talking about the 14th Amendment, but don't bring it up when we bring up reparations. We're going to force them to mention freedmen every single time that they mention it with 14th Amendment. We're going to have to say the same damn thing with an anti-Black American hate crime protection. We're going to have to say the same damn thing when it comes to reparations. There you go, fam. Everybody wanted to know where the silver lining was. There it is. Everybody wants to know what the lottery ticket numbers are. There it go. And you know I'm going to spot it, fam. Every single time that they mention the 14th Amendment, whenever they're trying to make it exclusively about us and not illegals, then they're going to have to make reparations exclusively about us and not illegals. So we're going to get them at their own game, ain't we? We're going to check them with their own work, ain't we? You damn right we are. Fam, there's nothing you're going to get past foundational Black Americans. If you whisper something, we're going to hear it, we're going to catch it, we're going to use it against you. Yes, indeed. See, fam, the precedence is now set. The precedence is absolutely positively set. Y'all running around here talking about us exclusively as a lineage. Good. Because that exclusive lineage that you're talking about with the 14th Amendment is the same exclusive lineage that we're talking about when we say cut the check. Everything go back to reparations. Every time they mention this, fam, we're going to mention it back ahead of them. We're going to say, no. Remember, the President of the United States said the 14th Amendment is all about the babies of slaves. That's a status, y'all. That's a status. So whenever they tell us we can't get reparations because it's race-based, we say, what's race got to do with this? I'm talking about the status of being a baby of a slave, which means you're foundational Black American. So, foundational Black Americans, we heard what you said. Now, foundational Black Americans are going to put it on the line, and you're going to see what we do. Do you see how it works, y'all? They can't see us because, like I told everybody before, I'll say it again. I'll say it a billion times, family. That right damn there is who this is all about. Nobody else, family. It's all about certified foundational Black Americans. It's always been about certified foundational Black Americans. So when people was walking around today, they had their heads down and they was out here saying, this ain't no good. Shit, this is real good. This is real good for foundational Black Americans, fam. Because like I said before, ain't nothing changed, y'all. Ain't nothing changed. Let me, whoa. Let me see my Black Americans, fam. Hold up. Family, the birthright citizenship today is the same dusty-ass birthright citizenship they've been using this whole damn time. The only thing that has changed now is that they have regarded us and they have spoke about us specifically. That's what it is. The only thing that's changed now is that they have mentioned us exclusively, which we're going to use against them. Family, let's tell everybody what is really hitting for out here in these streets. Foundational Black Americans, we've been through all this.
Created. Birthright citizenship was created for descendants of slaves. How the fuck do you not know this in this 2026? So, as a former federal policy writer, let me educate a lot of you ignorant people. When any initiative is created in the federal government, it is always going to be created to answer something that is going on institutionally at that time. I don't know how you don't understand this. So you basically think that they just say, oh, let's just give birthright citizenship to every from every country all over the world. No, it does not work that way. Whenever we write policies and regulations in the federal government, and I did this for many years, many of you already know, every initiative is created to answer something that is going on institutionally at that time. So what this literally means that if you are not a descendant of slaves, you should not be getting any birthright citizenship or any of the other reparations or incentives that comes with being here unless you came here the right fucking.
Stop. Family, listen now. If reparations applies to foundational Black Americans exclusively, then so does the 14th Amendment. If the 14th Amendment applies to us exclusively, so does reparations. No longer now can they separate it and say we're only going to acknowledge you for the 14th Amendment, but we're not going to acknowledge you for reparations. Oh, they stuck now. Oh, they in trouble now. Oh, you done messed up. You done messed up. Oh, what you thought, fam? What you thought? We was going to have a broadcast today and we was going to sit here and drag our damn feet on the floor? Hell no. Hell no. That ain't how we do over here. Let me tell you something, fam. Now it's up because every single time that they acknowledge the 14th Amendment is for Black Americans exclusively, then now they're stuck right where they got them, fam. Because we as certifieds, we know what's happening. Let me tell you something. If anybody tries to hustle us, we be on it, y'all. We be on it so quick, fast, in a hurry. This right here is what you talking about playing chess, fam. We used to say folks was playing checkers. Fam, they out here playing Uno. They playing, and they still losing. They still losing. Don't nobody move as quick as us. Ain't nobody as sharp as us. Not at all, fam. Every single thing we say is exclusive. So when Donald Trump comes out and says this, first thing I'm sitting there thinking is like, Donald Trump keeps acknowledging us specifically as a lineage, as an ethnicity. And then Clarence Thomas comes out, a Supreme Court justice, and he acknowledges us as a lineage and as a ethnicity. So if you can acknowledge us as a lineage and an ethnicity in regards to the 14th Amendment, then you're forced to have to acknowledge us as the same when it comes to reparations. See, they want to acknowledge us as a lineage when it comes to the 14th Amendment, but they don't want to acknowledge us as a lineage when it comes to reparations. Problem is that we too fast for them and you can't separate the two of them and we won't allow it. We will enforce that. We will be the ones who push it. We will be the ones who drop them receipts on the table. Back at it, y'all. This is what happens when you certify, fam. This is what happens when you standing on business, fam. Both of them belong to us.
Wait, how do you not know this? You know why you don't know this? Because billions of dollars are being spent, are being moved to buy out your emotions, who anchor their validation into being a Christian, being a Democrat, being a Q dog, and all of this that you tie your loyalty to that teaches you this illusion of inclusion that includes everything but you. You know what? At this point, and with so much research available in 2026, it's a decision. It's a choice to be stupid. Staying stupid is a choice. Citizenship and every other form of reparations that is there, that was created for the descendants of slaves. Your black ass, you have been taught to sit here and fight and create an argument for all of these other so-called underprivileged groups, all of these so-called minority groups who come here and benefit from the that your ancestors been through. Oh, that includes the Africans who were not born here too. They are included in that. If you are not a descendant of black slaves, birthright citizenship and every other form of reparations and incentive that comes with, it does not apply to you.
Woo! This the fun part, y'all. The fun part is this. Y'all. The fun part is breaking these people down at their own game. The fun part is they can't match our wit. We are too articulate. We too quick. We too fast, fam. We're too thorough for these individuals. That's exactly what it is. So by the Supreme Court acknowledging foundational Black Americans as a specific lineage, now we're going to tell them you have to acknowledge us as a specific lineage in regards to reparations and an anti-Black American hate crime protection. The precedence is set because they're saying this at a federal level, fam. They're saying this at the highest levels of American society. This ain't no kangaroo court. This ain't no little cheap, broke down ass court that you have in Kentucky somewhere, fam. We talking about the real ones. This is why these people are running from us, because they understood, man, them FBAs is going to be on it. They're going to be on it. And this is how you get these people at their own game. And this is how you show people what time it is. It's a whole new day, And it's really a time frame, fam. They weren't really prepared for this. They weren't really prepared. Let me tell you something, fam. And I've been wanting to talk to y'all about this for a minute. It's the same exact thing that ended up happening with that justice fund and that anti-weaponization fund. Family, the only reason that they shut that down is because they knew that we were going to take advantage of it based on their precedent. See, fam, they really can't stand when we use their own words against them. Because in the court system, you can't just say, well, that's your opinion, that's my opinion. There's a direct set of laws, and it doesn't teeter one way or another. It's either going to be the law or it's not. And this is what foundational Black Americans have been doing. We've been using their words against them. They want to say the children of slaves, and we going to say children of slaves. If they want to say they open it up for reparations in a lawsuit, then we going to say we open it up for reparations in a lawsuit. We using y'all words against you. So don't be mad. You just going to have to accept it. That's the main thing that everyone's watching right now and everybody's witnessing. And it's a lovely thing. And it's all because of foundational Black Americans. Let me show y'all this right here. Check out your screen, family. This right here is what Donald Trump talked about. And Donald Trump is basically saying they ain't done. The Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country. But we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president that has now been determined during the process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They will have my complete support, President Donald Trump. Donald Trump now is trying to rally everybody to go ahead and make sure that they can just do it through the court system. Yeah, they're trying to do this through the court system now, family. And they're saying, or through Congress, shall I say, so they can just get this done immediately, ASAP, in a hurry. So now what you're witnessing is all of these individuals out there that are hell-bent on it. It's only stirring up the crowd more, and it's only stirring these folks up to get this done and accomplished. So when we sit back as foundational Black Americans and we witness all this stuff go down, what you're going to end up seeing is Jethro and Billy Bob, like we were just talking about, they're going to be like, let's go. But the more they fall back, the more they're going to have trouble on their side, family. Yes, indeed. Everybody, quite frankly, is feuding and fighting except for us. I told everybody, fam, we was going to turn up. And I told everybody, we got a plan and an agenda. You can go ahead and check the text, fam. I told everybody that. I said, we're going to break this thing down and show you how it applies to FBA, fam. The W's are preparing for an all-out war on immigration. The immigration conversation in the United States of America just took up another notch. And it's about to get even more heated and even more hysteric. And we're going to sit back and we're going to watch it. Now they're viewing birthright citizenship. Let's break down the system of supremacy, fam. When Julio comes over here and he's 25 years old, they don't like that, but they can live with it. When Mr. Pedro comes over here and he's 32 years old, they don't like that, they can deal with it. See, the birthright citizenship, that sets off the W's because now they're viewing them little Julio children are going to have to compete with their children. See, now they're looking at it as a future problem. They feel that little Pedro is going to take the food off the plate of little Jethro. So this right here is making the dominant society go even more crazy. They're even more aggressive. They losing their mind right now on social media, family. If you look at social media, the W's are acting like they was acting when Charlie Kirk got papped. They acting the same damn way, family. They are so hot and bothered by this ruling because they're viewing this as a future issue. See, when it's Mr. Romero, you could just go and arrest him, send him back home. When it's Mrs. Selena, arrest her, send her back home. But when you start talking about birthright citizenship and Selena and Romero's child grows up and he's a citizen and he's taking job opportunities away from your children, then they got an issue. But here's what I got to say about that. Those Julios and Romeros and Selenas today, they take jobs away from Black Americans and don't nobody say nothing or do nothing about it. Isn't it funny, fam, how when the illegals take jobs from us right now, everybody's okay with it? But when the future birthright citizenship illegal child takes jobs away from the dominant society's child, then they want to put an end to it. No problem when they was taking jobs away from us. No problem when they was stealing off our plate. Just go ahead and do it. Nobody wrote a damn law. Soon as they seen that their child was going to lose some jobs, then it becomes such a dreaded thing. Okay? That's the difference. These people are out here on social media, family, and they are spazzing. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. They cannot handle that ruling today. It's got them up in arms, and it's about to go down.
Well, they did it. They made a ruling on birthright citizenship. The president did an executive order saying birthright citizenship shouldn't go to the children of those who came here illegally. And that makes sense because in the 14th Amendment, it says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Well, what does that mean? Subject to the jurisdiction thereof should mean the parents don't have an allegiance to a different country. When you come here illegally, you're still a national or a citizen of some other country. You've got an allegiance to that country. They try to use some 100-year-old ruling about Wong Kim Ark. Well, that ruling doesn't make any sense because that person's parents were domiciled here, which means they lived here. They had a place of residence here. They were domiciled here. They didn't come here illegally. They were, in fact, part of the labor trade from China. So this ruling, 6-3, yet a couple of conservatives who went to the other side again, doesn't make any sense. You hear people say, well, we've got to amend the Constitution, to which I started laughing. You can't amend the Constitution. You can't even pass the Save America Act. You can't even stop the filibuster. So,
right there, notice, fam, the Republicans aren't getting anything accomplished. They got a real problem with this, fam. They're so upset that the Republicans are not saving them from the illegals.
Anybody and everybody who's here illegally can now have a child, even if it's birthright citizenship tourism, like from China. That child's going to be a citizen, and it doesn't make any sense. Come on. Well, they did it. They made a ruling.
Oh, they mad now, y'all. Oh, they extra mad. They extra mad. They don't want to hear none of that. They ain't trying to hear none of that, family. No, they not. What they want to hear is these folks can't come to the United States of America at all. That's what they want to hear, okay? And once again, family, you're seeing a bipartisan issue. There's a silent civil war going on all across the United States of America in regards to immigration. You got the liberals and the conservatives who deep down inside both support it. But the problem is that the conservative Republican politician, he doesn't match the sentiments of Trailer Park Jethro. Okay, remember that, fam. The Trailer Park and Washington, D.C. are not seeing this eye to eye. Your average everyday W who lives in the trailer park, they're more reflective of MAGA, mass deportations. However, when you start talking about the affluent supremacists, the Republicans, they more so want to bring these people in on visas or use them for low tax, low welfare, low jobs, so they can just get that money, low labor. That's the difference between the two of them, fam. And what we've been seeing as foundational Black Americans, We've been witnessing this going on for how long, y'all? How long have Black Americans been identifying this illegal immigrant problem and nobody wanted to say nothing, but now it's exploded. America is going down the same line as Europe right now, fam. I'm telling you right now, all that melting pot America that Black Americans have been calling out for the longest, certified salute to Dr. Claude Anderson, family, that melting pot right now is about to explode in America's face, not in ours, because we delineated. We done regulated, we done separated. But it's going to go on amongst these two different sides because you done let in all these people to America and you never vetted them. You never asked them any questions. Only thing you wanted to do was bring these people in so you can save a few bucks. When it goes down in America and things get real in America and all of that type of behavior and that agenda explodes in America's face, I don't want nobody to say that we didn't tell them so. We called this out ahead of time, y'all. You can't bring in millions of people where you don't know where they come from, you don't know who the hell they are, and they all got allegiances to foreign governments. And then you just bring them on in, and then you give them jobs. Fam, let me tell you something. When illegals are walking through a desert and nobody knows who the hell they are, family, I'm telling you right damn now, those individuals have certain places that they have been sent to based on they're getting a push. They're getting a push from their handlers. They got handlers who put them in that position. They got handlers who said, come on in. They've got handlers who said, hey, y'all can be down. I'm going to show y'all for the people just piling in right now. Everybody smash the like button. If you ain't seen this, let me show y'all again. Do you think these people are coming to America because they love America?
Where you going? ¿Dónde vas? Arkansas? Okay, ¿y tú?
Omaha.
Omaha. ¿Y tú? Houston.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Brooklyn. Minneapolis. Nueva York. Minneapolis. Chicago. New York. New York. New York. New York. New York. New York. New York.
Wow.
New York. ¿Dónde vas?
New York.
New York.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, gracias. New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. ¿Y usted? ¿Y usted?
New Jersey.
¿Y usted?
New Jersey.
¿Y usted?
New Jersey.
Gracias. ¿Y usted? Where you going? Where you going?
Texas.
Texas. You?
Colorado.
Colorado. You?
New York.
New York. You? California. You? New York. You? Miami.
California.
California. Texas.
Family, how do they know where they're going unless they have a particular order? Family, how do they know the city? How do they know the region? Family, you don't get just like this on an accident. No, these people have an actual destination that's been given to them. These people have a destination that has been handed to them. Folk can't even speak English, but know where they're going to. And when you get there, where you living? How are you getting there, fam? There's so many questions that need to be asked. And it goes back to what I said earlier, fam. When it comes to immigration in the United States of America, there's no rules. It's time everybody just accepts that we live in a lawless country when it comes to illegal immigration. Nobody has any definitive set laws that are clear for the world to understand. One person says it's this, one person says it's that. Family, we're sitting here arguing and debating about temporary status being permanent when it says temporary status in the damn name. How is that a debate? How are we talking about the 14th Amendment applying to people who have kids behind dumpsters and alleys when it says in the Constitution that it is for foundational Black Americans? That's literally what the amendment says. How are we having a debate? They have you debating the non-debatable. When people are pulling up to the border, can't speak English, but can tell you the city and town they're going, how in the hell do they know where that is unless somebody is their handler giving that to them? Who are they living with? How are they getting there? On foot? Fam, I've been around the world, but one thing I know for certain, you ain't walking from Mexico to Connecticut. It ain't happening. But these people are sitting there saying Connecticut, Houston, St. Louis, Kansas City, Oakland, and they all got a different destination. Every last one of them. He going here, and they're from all over the world. You talking about people who are from India and Africa, and they're both at the Mexican border. And all of them are going to do what? Come over here, have kids, and now their kid is a U.S. citizen. Family, it's real in the field. It's real in the field. And the only thing I got to say about that, Jethro, I know you're not going to let Mr. Muhammad come to your trailer park. I know you got one meth pipe and you don't want to share it. Jethro, you better go get with that buster. You better. And let me say this to Mr. Billy Bob. Billy Bob, I know damn well you are not going to let Mr. Ramirez Gonzalez III come up in your trailer park and take it over. He going to turn your trailer park into Home Depot. Because y'all know they be deep at Home Depot. I know you better do something about it. You better go get it. J.D. Vance ain't going to help you. J.D. Vance said he want to go home to Mrs. Hindu. He said he don't want to deport them. What you going to do about it? That's the thing I'm looking at, fam. Oh, birthright citizenship for foundational Black Americans. I'm looking at it completely different. I'm looking at it as, oh, shit, we good. See, fam, we delineated already. So whatever law they come up with, whatever little agenda that they try to push, we have protected ourselves by delineation. These other folks ain't too protected. So I'm seeing a whole little assault. And that's why, fam, I'm already seeing W's, particularly down south. They're saying what the government won't do, they'll do. You take that how you want. You take that, read between the lines, family. But if you know these people like I know these people, you know what that means. They're basically saying that they want to take this into their own hand because they're looking at everything that's went on during the Trump administration. And quite frankly, fam, W's don't feel satisfied. They don't feel there's been enough deportations. They wanted birthright citizenship to end straight up. They had their hopes up high. They were like, yo, this has to end now. They Mayo hearts got broken today when they seen that it's completely going on. And now they're calling out the Supreme Court justice for it, fam. So when the average trailer park Mayo is calling out the Mayos at the Supreme Court, oh, you know you got a problem. You know you got a serious problem. And that's exactly what they have. Because this has been the reality of America, fam. Look at this. Look at your border crisis. Look at your border crisis right here in America, family. Oh, because when you seen all this go down and nobody want to say nothing, we were sitting here looking and saying, okay, well, if that's the case, if that's how you want to play the game, well, play the game how it goes. But that right there has consequences, family. That right there has consequences. And what are those consequences? An unchecked, unmarked America where everybody's doing every damn thing other than doing what they need to do. And let me say this to all the little tethers running around. Because, you know, a bunch of people who just got their deportation orders a few days ago with TPS, I guess they think that somehow they're safe. And let me say this. All of the illegals who come here to the United States of America, your ass is still going to get deported. Birthright citizenship did not end deportation. Birthright citizenship didn't end ICE. You still are on the list. You still going to get deported, and you're still going back to your homeland. You know you's a dusty, rusty, and always musty ass tether if you're trying to celebrate birthright citizenship and your ass ain't a baby. The only people who need to celebrate birthright citizenship is the tether babies, okay? Your grown ass tether ass, your ass is still going home. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Look at this right here, family. This Haitian dude out here, and he thinks he's celebrating. He don't realize he about to be right back in Port-au-Prince.
Birthright citizenship got upheld, but what bothers me the most is the fact that this was even up to be voted for in the first place, especially since the majority of Americans in this country originated from an immigrant, especially originated from an immigrant, especially the president himself, who is a...
Who done originated from an immigrant? You ain't talking about us. Who you talking about? You can't be talking about us, homeboy. You talking about yourself. Because that don't apply to Black Americans. That's what happens, y'all.
Americans in this country originated from an immigrant, especially the president himself, who is a major hypocrite because his granddaddy originated from whatever country he came from and actually ran away from his country to not fight a war. Fun fact. So it's actually very, very hysterical and hypocritical of Donald Trump to reap the benefits of his forefathers coming in as an immigrant and building a life, but then and able to benefit from that, but trying to strip that from the Americans that live here today. Absolutely unbelievable. You got birthright citizenship.
Spoiled little tethers, ain't they, family? Spoiled as hell. I don't know what this man talking about. That don't apply to us. That got everything to do with you. Yeah, absolutely. That got everything to do with you and barbecue. But it ain't got nothing to do with us over here on this side. This side, the real side, the only side that matters. Family, let me show y'all another person who came out. And they mad. See, fam, they don't like the way things are going. They don't like the way things are going. They're upset the fact that things are turning out the way they are. They're upset that foundational Black Americans is moving the way we are, moving at this full speed. Family, this is what I mean by these people, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. They done send out Holland. Holland then came out here, and Holland's so upset and so angry, y'all. But he just gonna have to stay that way. Watch this.
What we have to deal with here, Michael and Nicole, is that when these ADOS FBA people, when they spout language, the anti-immigration language, even anti-Black immigration language, they sound just like Tom Emmer. They sound just like Stephen Miller. They sound just like Donald Trump. They literally, Michael, are speaking for white nationalists.
Absolutely. Is white supremacy through ventriloquism. That's what it is.
What we have to deal with here.
I know you ain't talking about ventriloquism because you hop on every damn liberal lap that you can possibly find. See, fam, let me tell you what that is. That's nervousness that you can't control foundational Black Americans. And that's cap. In reality, what that is Roland Martin is the one who mimics liberal supremacy. That's what it is. The very fact that he's trying to force us to go along with anti-foundational immigrants, that's a liberal tactic. He's using liberal supremacy against foundational Black Americans. And one of the main tactics of liberal supremacy is projection, okay? But like I always tell people, we match your projection with rejection and we send it right back to you. Nothing can stop FBA right now, family, and they understand that. See, we're supposed to be right now putting a cape on for all of the Haitians. That's what they want. And when they seen Black Americans, quite frankly, just didn't care, foundational Black Americans just went on about our day, that disrupts them at the core, y'all. They can't handle that. That bothers them. That burns them that we're not out here putting on the cape for illegal immigrants. And let me tell you about birthright citizenship, y'all. And this is why I could not wait to get on the broadcast tonight to talk to the family. Foundational Black Americans, we still going about our business right now. Family, let me ask y'all a question. This came back today. Are you still going to be an FBA tomorrow when you wake up? Are you still going to be exceptional? Are you still going to be a part of the strongest lineage, heritage, and culture of all time? The answer to that is yes, yes, and yes. So if it's yes, yes, and yes, that means we ain't got off of our lane. We ain't divvied. We ain't switched lanes. We ain't veered. We ain't did nothing. We still focus on reparations. As a matter of fact, this 14th Amendment conversation has strengthened our reparations stance. Yes, it has. Because again, y'all, they've been using our foundational Black American lineage as a prop during this whole conversation. I see y'all in the chat, family. Certified salute. They've been using foundational Black Americans in this reparations, or excuse me, shall I say in this 14th Amendment conversation, and it's only strengthened us, fam. It's only strengthened us. Yes, the hell it has. It's made us bigger. That's why foundational Black Americans are so strong. We're taking every single thing that they come at us with, and we're using it against them. Every single thing that they say, we flipping it back at them. Nothing they can do to stop us. We too quick, we too fast, we too savvy, too strong. Shout out to Dazzling. They know what it is. So let me tell you what we're doing, family. What we're doing right now is that we are hustlers. Foundational Black Americans invented the hustle, and we on boss mode right now. Let me tell you how we get down. Every single time that they say the 14th Amendment is exclusive to the babies of slaves, foundational Black Americans, we're taking that and we're applying that to reparations. No longer can you use that in terms of the 14th Amendment, but then you want to skip over reparations. When you bring them both up, you're going to bring them both up synonymously, which means if it's for 14th Amendment foundational Black Americans, then it's for reparations foundational Black Americans, but both of those are for foundational Black Americans. If Clarence Thomas says it, if Donald Trump says it, then that means my check gonna say it because you're gonna cut the check. See, we've taken this conversation and all of their talking points and we're using it against them. Because foundational Black Americans in this generation, we move ahead of the curve. Every single thing that they think of, we done already thought of. Anywhere they think they're going, we're already there. That's what it's all about. The 14th Amendment is being used as a prop against everyone else, but they're trying to uplift foundational Black Americans without realizing we was already up the whole damn time, y'all. We was up the whole damn time. They can't take away what we have already created, fam. Let me show y'all what I mean. And this is a clear example of how foundational Black Americans get busy. Let me tell y'all, this right here is what FBA does when FBA does it the FBA way. Watch this.
I'm so tired of Black American people getting on this app and saying that birthright citizenship is not for the descendants of slaves. That's exactly what birthright citizenship was for. Now, is Donald Trump trying to weaponize birthright citizenship to divide minorities? Perhaps. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's take the truth for what it is. Now, we can choose to use the weapon however we want, but let's take the truth for what it is. There is no advantage in saying that's not who birthright citizenship was for. Now, you can take that power and leverage it and say, hey, other minorities, if you want us to step in your fight because now you're afraid of your citizenship being at risk, then we need to leverage this power. We need to come together where it's not just about you, but you also are about us, because we still have grievances. What is it that we can gain from coming together? Black people are so willingly to give out their voices, their participation, and not take into consideration what their ancestors did. Now you have a reset. Now you can get the power and the respect that you need. And it's the Democratic Party. People are so disillusioned by the Democratic Party, and they follow it so strongly that the ideals and the agenda of the Democratic Party starts becoming the mindset of a lot of Black people. Watch what they do, not what they say.
Watch what they do, not what they say. We watching them on both times, family. Notice, y'all, when you start talking about the 14th Amendment, when you start talking about certifieds, that decision that came in today, y'all, is put us in the position now, as we say, where we are going to leverage everything. Everything has to be leveraged, y'all. Remember that. We have to leverage our position because, quite frankly, we got the best position in the building. Every single thing that we do is A1. Every single thing that we do is on time. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do because, look, fam, we all know at the bottom line, this is what it all came down to, y'all. This will not, of course, include, this is about the 14th Amendment, y'all. This will not include, of course, it will not include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens who belong to families of ambassadors or foreign ministries accredited to the government of the United States. Remember that, y'all. This is about us specifically, us directly. Nobody else. Can't nobody claim it. Anybody trying to claim it is a full-time op, and we don't deal with ops, y'all. No, we run the block, y'all. This is why we, and I'm talking about every last one of my brothers and sisters listening right now, this is why we are in control, because they can't sit there and say, well, it applies to everybody. See, fam, when you start talking about what's on paper, you can't no longer just sit there and say random stuff. This ain't just them talking about a black and brown coalition. That's random. This ain't them talking about POCs. That's random. What we doing right now, this ain't nothing random. This is direct. You see right there on your screen, fam? We using every single thing that they say against them with full leverage. Hell no, pick your head up. Don't sit there and look at this 14th Amendment, fam. You knew these folks wasn't about nothing any damn way. You knew these folks was fronting from the jump. But now they're going to have to watch us shine. Let me get back to what she was saying. I'm going to start it back, fam, because I know it's a little low. Let me play this back for you. This is what we mean.
I'm so tired of Black American people getting on this app and saying that birthright citizenship is not for the descendants of slaves. That's exactly what birthright citizenship was for. Now, is Donald Trump trying to weaponize birthright citizenship to divide minorities? Perhaps. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's take the truth for what it is. Now, we can choose to use the weapon however we want, but let's take the truth for what it is. There is no advantage in saying that's not who birthright citizenship was for. Now, you can take that power and leverage it and say, hey, other minorities, if you want us to step in your fight because now you're afraid of your citizenship being at risk, then we need to leverage this power. We need to come together where it's not just about you, but you also are about us, because we still have grievances. What is it that we can gain from coming together? Black people are so willingly to give out their voices, their participation, and not take into consideration what their ancestors did. Now you have a reset. Now you can get the power and the respect that you need. And it's the Democratic Party. People are so disillusioned by the Democratic Party, and they follow it so strongly that the ideals and the agenda of the Democratic Party starts becoming the mindset of a lot of Black people. Watch what they do, not what they say. So when it came down to DEI, everyone was saying, well, DEI ain't got nothing to do with Black people. That's because the people who push DEI push those other groups above Black people. And when you have an opportunity to get leverage, you just freely give it away. No, you form a coalition and say, hey, if you want us to help you here, you need to help us here. But we don't want you to, every time we have an issue, you turn your back. But then when you have an issue, you want us to show up. That's exactly who birthright citizenship is for. Black Americans, descendants of slaves.
Stop. I want y'all to notice when we talk like this, we don't include nobody else. I want y'all to notice this, family. What she's doing is she's trying to throw in a little bit of language for other people. We ain't coming together with no damn body. We ain't rocking with a soul. The only people we rocking with is foundational Black Americans. And we gonna leverage our power for ourselves. We not gonna leverage our power for anybody else. Bars. Shout out to my brother Donnie on timeout. Now I want y'all to see how he says it and watch how clear this is.
These courts is playing games. Come on, y'all misinterpreted it on purpose. Y'all know what the 14th Amendment meant. Y'all know what birthright citizenship meant. It was for Black Americans, the descendants of enslaved Black Americans. It was never meant for no migrants, for them to come over here and be like, yeah, we had a baby in the end zone, baby. We made it. Now we get all this government assistance. We get all this welfare and housing in Section 8. No, it was never meant for that, because that's how a lot of these undocumented parents are able to sign up for these government assistance programs, because of their baby that they kicked, put it into the end zone. They field goal made. We made it. Now we get all these benefits, and now they have a fighting chance. It was never meant for that. They just took advantage of the system. There's no way you could tell me these courts interpreted it that way. It's just that people found a loophole and start putting their babies into American soil. Because what other country has a birthright citizenship? And what other country have a history like the United States with enslaving its Black citizens? Right? No other country have this type of history. So, yeah, it was for the descendants of enslaved Black Americans. Yeah, we solidified now. We don't need the birthright citizenship. You know what I'm saying? These courts is playing games. Come on, y'all misinterpret.
Playing games, fam. That's all they've been doing was playing games. Let me say something real quick, fam. Let me break this down to you the real fashion. First and foremost, everything that we're doing has to be leveraged. Every single thing that we're doing has to be focused. The woman that was talking a second ago, she's a damn op. And I'm going to tell you why. We're not playing no game. This sounds nice. Oh, well, we got to do this and we got to leverage this and all that. F all that. You ain't leveraging anything unless you're leveraging it with foundational Black Americans. There ain't no such thing as leveraging something with a foreigner. What I call that is sharing. And we don't share. Shout out to DMX, baby. We right here. Shout out to the certifieds, because the way we move in family is everything is in-house. Remember, we didn't get our inspiration from 1804. We got our inspiration from the FBA next door. Remember that. So I want y'all to notice how people are going to use our language, our talking points, and then sprinkle in DEI and sprinkle in the Democrats, sprinkle in the Republicans, and they can take that whole goddamn plate and then get the hell up out of here. It's all about us doing for ourselves, fam. That's the era that we in. For ourselves, nobody else. We're focusing on foundational Black Americans, and there's two things that we're going to have to get on, fam. Everything has to be lineage now. This is what's happening. So you got to understand, y'all, there's two Americas. You have the America before the Immigration Act. Now you have the America after the Immigration Act. And there's a lot of people who said a lot of brilliant things, family, back in the old days, but they wasn't living in this time frame where folks are showing up over here by the millions, and when they get over here, they're anti-Black American. We got to be honest about that, y'all. We got to be 100%. I love our foundational Black American pillars from the past, but if you are a pillar from the past before the Immigration Act, then you don't really know what's going on in the 2000s. I got much love, much respect for the 1950s, the 1960s, 1970s. But when you go 80 and up, That's a whole different game plan. See, in the 1950s and 60s, they had this fantasy land about what Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Africans and Jamaicans and Asians thought about us. We live in the reality now. So anytime someone says, well, you know, so-and-so was a Pan-African, you know, so-and-so said we need to go travel the world, so-and-so said that we are friends, and so-and-so said that shit back in 1950. I'm talking about today. And the reality is today, we can't lead these kids astray. They got to know who's coming into this country, and they got to know that these people aren't coming over here to be our friends, family. That's what this is about the 14th Amendment. Y'all notice not near one of these tethers or migrants or fleers done stood up and said, hey, that don't apply to me. I don't know why people are waiting for tethers or immigrants to ever admit anything. They're not going to admit nothing. You're waiting on these people to admit that the 14th Amendment is for us and not them. You're going to be waiting forever. You're waiting on these people to admit that they came over here because they couldn't build their homeland. Fam, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and see a headline that says all immigrants admit they can't build their homelands. That's why they fled. That ain't going to happen, y'all. So what we're going to do on a G status is that we're going to admit it for them. And when I admit it for them, I'm going to simply just say, get your game up, get your line up, get everything up, because you can't come over here, y'all. That's the way we are breaking it down. No friends, no nothing, because they want everything we do. Now, let me ask y'all a question, fam. Y'all remember when I checked Kamala Harris? You remember when I checked Kamala Harris? And what did I tell Kamala? Forget the part about me saying I demand reparations. That was loud and clear for the world to hear. Everybody caught that part. When I checked Kamala Harris, I told Kamala Harris, I said, you're not going to use my ancestors' legacy to give to illegals. Is that not exactly what they're doing with the 14th Amendment? And that's why I drove my ass straight up there, hopped out and checked her in front of everybody. And I ain't give a fuck how anybody took it, fam, because I understood that day and that statement was going to live much longer. Okay, it was going to live further than anything that was going on in that moment. That's what she was trying to do. She was trying to play us, fam. And I was like, no, I already know what you're doing. They try to take the 14th Amendment and then they try to apply it to illegals. That's literally verbatim why I had to go check her, fam, because these individuals will run with every single thing that foundational Black Americans do, and they don't give a damn. Not at all. And remember, like I told y'all, there's no allegiance to the United States of America for these people, y'all. They have no allegiance to us. No. Their kids grow up to really not like America. Did y'all see this video right here? Check this out, fam. Where these little Somalian girls, they're pissing off Mr. Mayo. They're saying that they don't really like America. Yeah, I know, Billy Bob, you ain't gonna let this slide. Watch this.
This is actually happening.
Somalia is the best.
Hey, thank you. What do you want to say?
Somalia is the best. Somalia is the best thing in the world. We love Somalia. We don't care what you think about us. And I love Somalia, anything in the world. Donald Trump does not judge us.
I don't think that's going to sit too well on the Brussels sprouts side of town. The Brussels sprouts ain't trying to hear that.
These kids in Minnesota out here yelling, Somalia is the best, and we don't care what you think. Cool story. If it's that great, why aren't you living there instead of turning parts of my country into a copy of it? Minnesota, not Mogadishu. Little girls who probably never step foot in Somalia saying they love it more than America. This is what diversity and no assimilation gets you. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is actually happening.
Damn. Damn. He don't like that, family. He don't like that. He don't like that at all. He real bothered by that, right? You see what I'm saying? But hey, that right there is exactly what I'm talking about why they're so bothered by the 14th Amendment. Remember, I told you, family, they're viewing that as those little children are going to take jobs away from their children. They don't mind if they take jobs away from our children. No problem at all. It's only when it affects them specifically, directly, then it becomes such a dreaded thing. This is why they was crashing out while you're watching it all, unfold, family. This is what we mean. So if you sit there and you see these people and you see how angry they get about this 14th Amendment decision, that right there is pretty much a prime example of why we foundational Black Americans is over here doing our foundational Black American thing. And we over here two-stepping. We don't care. Fam, we're not carrying the baggage of everybody. We're not walking around here feeling like we have to take everybody else's problems and time in. Family, let's go there, okay? You see the shirt, family? USA versus all y'all. Remember that. Family, who are the only people standing on American business? It's only foundational Black Americans. Again, fam, this is foundational Black Americans really doing what we do, but this is foundational Black Americans separating ourselves from everybody. We're the only ones who are truly standing on business for America. You look at the dominant society, they oppress people in America. That's anti-American. You look at the Democrats are completely anti-American. They don't like the government. They don't like Black Americans. They don't like us being independent. They don't like anything. We the ones really keeping the lights on for the USA, fam. And ain't that always been what it's always been? That's exactly how it's been, fam. They don't like the fact that FBA doesn't carry around everybody with all that weight on our shoulders. We're not doing none of that, fam. We're supposed to be crashing out over these people right now, but we're not. We're supposed to be breaking down over these people right now, but we're not. We're doing what we do, how we do it, and we're doing it in such a great way. That's the most beautiful thing about foundationals. And do y'all know right now, they're angry at us because we didn't put on the cape for Haitians? They're so angry right now. Fam, what they want was for Black Americans to get angry and to go say that they wanted us to go save everybody else. It's always Black Americans come save us. And then they don't give us nothing for doing it, fam. Nothing. They want foundational Black Americans to save Haitians from TPS. The same exact way they wanted us to save Mexicans from ICE. And we ain't doing none of that, y'all. Look at this right here, fam. This dude is in the street. He mad at y'all. This man is so mad, family. He said, Black Americans, we need to stop laughing because we're next. Watch this.
That thing in the White House has signed the executive order to remove protection away from the Haitians, which means that since TPS is being removed, a lot of Haitian migrants and immigrants will be deported from the United States. So there's about to be a mass deportation of Haitians here in America, which is crazy, which is absurd, and is insane. And I understand that the Haitians, they have their pride and they wave their flags and everything, but at the same time, there's nothing funny about what's about to happen to the Haitians. There's nothing funny about it. And there's nothing to make a joke about, laugh about, the kid about, like, in Black America. I don't know why y'all laughing. I don't know why y'all laughing, why y'all making fun of the Haitians. When it wasn't too long ago, y'all were being sprayed down with water hoses and shit. It was less.
And what happened? And what happened after that? What happened during that? We was giving that smoke. What happened? Yeah, huh? We ain't flee. We ain't run. No, what happened? Foundational Black Americans stood on business. And they gonna stand with some handcuffs on, and they gonna be standing back in Haiti. Big difference. You're reaching, fam. Don't ever trust somebody over here with some damn tangerine dreads and a damn Pan-African. He got a damn African earring on. Boy, you got an African earring. You don't get the hell out of here.
Then 70 years ago, that y'all was being sprayed down with water hose. But y'all want to laugh at the Haitians, what's about to happen to them. It wasn't funny back then when y'all was used as ornaments and trees and shit. It wasn't funny back then when y'all was being used like the cattle. It wasn't funny back then. So, and a lot of you saying you voted for this, kissing the ass of the oppressor. You know what? As a matter of fact, and that's what y'all are doing. Because y'all want to say the Haitians are taking from y'all. They're not. Everybody come here with the same opportunity. Some people just take advantage of it and grasp it. But there's nothing funny about this. And I really feel sorry for these Haitians. But however, though, a lot of Haitians who did vote for Trump, who voted for that damn thing, kind of voted against your own interest, man. Even though Black America, they try to tell y'all, so kind of see it in a way that you were warned, but still, there's nothing ever funny about somebody being deported and hunted down like an animal. Because remember, Black America, it's not your turn yet.
It's your turn right now to receive one of these right here. How about that one right there? Now you take your damn tangerine dreads and your African earring, and you can go back to Haiti since you love them so damn much. Punk alert! And that's what we really doing, fam. They thought that they was going to try to hustle us and scam us. But no, we're focused on our own business. We're focused on everything we're doing. And this is what's going on right now with this birthright citizenship, fam. Let me get even further into it. Let's really unpack everything that we've already unpacked so far. What we know for certain, family, is that this was a bipartisan issue. And what we have cleared up today is immigration is far more bipartisan than people believe or people want to believe. They want to believe that it's Democrats are the bad ones, Republicans are the good ones. I'm here to tell you, in the system of supremacy, both of them are bad, okay? Number two, fam, what we have cleared up is that it does not matter what they decide to do with birthright citizenship, family, because at the end of the damn day, this has been going on. Deportations have not stopped. Deportations, we know for certain, have at least another 2.5 strong years. And then number three, which is the most important one, is that foundational Black Americans, we're using this as leverage to further push our reparations claim because they are identifying us specifically as a lineage, heritage, and culture within the 14th Amendment conversation, which means they're going to have to do the same thing with the reparations conversation. Those are three key points that we broke down today, fam. And I got even more further ones for you on the table that we going to rock. If you see anything going on in America, the main thing that you definitely have to acknowledge is that they've been saying this and trying to use us as a prop for quite some time. Look at your screen, family. They've been having these main breakdowns, and this is why, y'all, we are going to use this to strengthen reparations. Watch this.
You're, of course, familiar with the Supreme Court decision in Dred Scott versus Sanford.
Yes, sir.
That decision held that African Americans, whether slave or free, could not be citizens of the United States. Is that correct?
That is correct.
By denying citizenship, the court also denied African Americans equal political rights, equal access to the courts, and equal protection of the laws.
Correct. They were denied all privileges and immunities that the Constitution affords to citizens.
Would you agree that the Dred Scott decision pushed the nation even closer to civil war?
It did, by invalidating the Missouri Compromise, among other reasons.
Many historians posit the decision in Dred Scott helped cause the Civil War. And when that bloody war, the bloodiest war in America's history, ended in 1865, the legal status of the newly freed slaves was far from settled. Mr. Werman, after the Civil War, was it clear as a matter of law that the freed slaves would necessarily enjoy the full rights of citizenship?
It was not if Dred Scott was still good law.
Congress understood the danger of that uncertainty. And if the Constitution remained silent, the rights of the newly emancipated slaves could be challenged, undermined, or even potentially stripped away by future courts. That would mean that the blood shed in the Civil War was shed in vain.
Stop. Look at all this stuff they doing, family, to use us as leverage to stop 14th Amendment going to illegals. They don't never use none of this for reparations, but we will. Fam, we're going to use all this for reparations. You're not going to acknowledge our history when you're trying to use us for your own political gain, but you don't want to acknowledge our history for us getting a debt that's owed. Go ahead. Keep on talking. Have all of this, fam. We writing it down. We making clear distinctions, and we going to make sure that they hear about foundational Black America.
So Congress acted. In 1866, it passed the Civil Rights Act, declaring that the newly emancipated slaves were citizens of the United States. Mr. Werman, even after Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1866, were there serious doubts about whether Congress had the constitutional authority to enact it?
Yes, there were.
And so Congress chose a more permanent solution. The solution was to write citizenship itself into the Constitution, so that never again could a court repeat the mistake and the gross injustice of Dred Scott. Also, the leading commentators of the period, like Alexander Morse, Francis Wharton, and George Collins, and the view of executive officials responsible for enforcing the law, including the Attorney General of the United States in 1873 and the Solicitor of the Treasury in 1889.
The consistency was remarkable, yes.
So would it be accurate to say that the view espoused by my Democrat colleagues that the 14th Amendment confers citizenship on anyone born on this land, whether here lawfully or unlawfully, temporarily or permanently, regardless of whether they owe allegiance to the United States, is a relatively recent view and directly contrary to the almost universal view at the time the amendment was ratified?
Look how metaphysical they get, fam. Look how now they understand lineage. Now they understand we ain't alls black. You see what we talking about, family? It's been this way. We have been exclusive. We have been our own ethnicity, fam. It's always been this damn way. They just want to play games. They just want to con and play games, y'all. Games in which we ain't letting them do no more. Oh, I told y'all we was going to have something today. I told y'all we had a plan. Let's go.
It's not at all clear to me when that view took root. The United States, in its brief to the Supreme Court, suggests during the administration of FDR, but it is certainly inconsistent with most everything that preceded it, everything except, I would say, the dicta in 1 Kim Ark, the incorrect dicta.
You're, of course, familiar with the Supreme Court.
Stop. There you go, right there, fam. That's what we've been meaning this whole damn time. This is what we've been saying this whole damn time. They know everything about who the hell we are. They just can't play no more. I told you, you're going to have a lot of breakdowns, fam. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a lot of breakdowns, and a lot of people who are going to break this down, they're just really going to complain about how messed up it is. Man, the 14th Amendment, man, that belongs to us. It ain't got nothing to do with the Mexicans. It ain't got nothing to do with the illegals. It ain't got nothing to do with the kids. All right, we understand that. But see, I don't wake up every single day thinking that the system of supremacy is going to do the right thing. I already know they're going to do the wrong thing. So I'm more hyper-focused on how we can take what they're doing, use it against them to get what belongs to us, i.e. reparations. They use the 14th Amendment in their illegal immigrant conversation. They don't want to acknowledge it with our reparations conversation, but we're going to make them. They use foundational Black Americans in their whole propping up of all these other societies. They don't want to do it in terms of our society. That's why we're going to force them to do it. It does not matter whatever they come up with, fam. Like I said, we own it. We too fast for them. We're too sturdy. Listen, right now, what you are going to witness all across the United States of America is everybody's going to be going back and forth about this birthright citizenship ruling today. What you're going to see with foundational Black Americans is a continuation of our delineating and our regulating. The regulator tour hasn't stopped, y'all. We still all about that money. So you got to understand, there's going to be a lot of things that pop up. But the main thing that's always got to be on the front page, fam, is getting to that bag, y'all. You got to see reparations in every single thing. Every single thing that goes down, y'all, you got to see a reparations silver lining, okay? My lining with reparations is silver, is gold, is green, money green. It's all of the above, fam, but it's all in our pockets as well. That's the way we got to push forward. They know damn well that we can't be stopped, so they push out and they try to send all these little things, but nah, none of that stuff is getting any type of traction, fam. What we do know is that we focus. Watch this.
Just so you know, the Supreme Court just struck down Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. So if you are born in America, you will still be considered an American citizen, regardless of whether your parents are American or residents or not. The birthright citizenship, the first birthright citizens were the children of slaves. Those were the first birthright citizens. It was made as soon as the Emancipation Proclamation. Well, basically after slavery ended, they wanted to make sure that the children of slaves were citizens of America. And so our ancestors became the first birthright citizens. Then Kim Ark came, who was Chinese, and he argued that he was a citizen because he was born in America. And he fought for that because his parents were residents of America at the time, even though I think they were Chinese citizens. However, they were residents in America when he was born, and that's what Trump was arguing, was that his lawyers are arguing is that it was only intended for the original birthright citizens, which were the children of slaves. And then Wong Kim Ark, his parents were already residents in America before he was considered. So that's why he was considered an American citizen. However, the Supreme Court struck it down anyway, and they have ruled that, anybody who's born in America would be still considered a citizen, which is definitely a win for immigrants in this country. And we'll see how Trump.
Stop. It's not no win for immigrants, fam. Again, it is not no win for immigrants. Let me make this clear, y'all. What did you win? It's something that you already was doing anyway. They've been loophole the Supreme Court. They've been loophole birthright citizenship. It's been that way for the longest, y'all. It's been that way for the longest amount of time. They know exactly what we're talking about, fam. I'm sorry. I don't view this at all as no win for them. I don't. Let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all is viewing this as a win? I don't view this as a win. Nope. I'm going to tell you why. Winning would be you're not getting deported at the end of the damn day. This was a long shot from the jump. I said that me and Natural, we had a space months ago and we was breaking this down and we were saying how this was going to end up turning out to be this way because I knew damn well they weren't going to go back and try to reverse this. All the legalities, fam. You still getting deported right now. You still getting snatched up right now. All them little tethers up there jumping, fam, they all gonna be gone next week anyway. All right? Half the people out there, fam, is out there jumping up. You see it as somebody said they see it as a win. I don't see it as a win. How you win something that was the same way last week? How do you win something that has not changed? It's the same exact thing as a week ago. Explain to me. Oh, somebody said it's a win. I want to know. How do you win something that it's the same way it was last week, the week before that, the month before that, the year before? Last time I heard when you win something, if I win the lottery, I don't have $1 million and then they give me $1 million. Okay. If I win a new car, that means I'm walking and then I'm in a new car. I don't win a new car by being in the new car that I just won. I don't win walking when I'm walking today like I was last week. What did you gain? My thing is, what did you gain? Or is it status quo? There you go, fam. It's status quo. That's what it is, family. This is nothing more than a status quo situation. It hasn't changed. I think people woke up today and they're thinking that birthright citizenship did not apply to these people a month ago. Birthright citizenship been applying to these people because the loophole has been put in place. A lot of folks is running around here thinking that birthright citizenship did not apply to these people last week, and today they ruled that it does. No, today they ruled that Donald Trump's way and his executive order does not go into effect, and they're going to maintain the status quo. But the status quo that ain't changed is your ass is still going to get deported, bottom line. And Trump said about 255,000, probably more than that. Those are the babies. The parents are still going home. The parents are still going home, family. You know what I'm saying? The parents are still going home. It don't matter. You still getting deported. You're still getting locked up. You're still getting snatched up. So what we talking about? Now, your ass get on TV and you tell me that deportations are over, then I'll say that's a win. You get on TV and tell me your ass is not getting arrested, that ICE is defunct, then I'll say that's a win. Until then, I'm sorry. It's not a win for me. And my barometer of winning is way bigger than this right here. Hell no. Matter of fact, I'm going to say something 100, y'all. I think we might have won more. And I'm going to tell you why I believe we might have won more, fam. We might have won more because this allows us to strengthen our reparations claim and to leverage our reparations more so. Now we can use, as I said earlier, all of their talking points and all of their rhetoric. You're not going to sit there and talk about Dred Scott, but tell me you don't know what our ethnicity and our lineage is. We're not playing that game. And the riders and regulators going to handle that. You're not going to sit there and talk about the babies of slaves, but tell me you don't know what foundational Black Americans are. You're not going to do that. The riders and the regulators going to handle that. We're going to simply point to every single statement that has been made that is in regard to us being acknowledged specifically by all of these different members of the political world. And we're going to say the same exact thing when we go to get that damn bag. Remember when you was talking about Dred Scott? Remember when you was talking about the babies of slaves? Remember when you was talking about the 14th Amendment? See, you're not going to acknowledge us with the 14th Amendment and then skip over us with reparations. It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, our situation is going up, not status quo. There's a status quo and then probably going down. So do you see the difference in that? I told everybody, fam, there's always a plan. We don't fall back at all. They ain't win a goddamn thing. Only thing that I see that they win in, family, is they win in the lottery on who ass is going home first at the end of the day. Come here illegal to the United States of America and you can still be deported. I don't know where it's gotten convoluted and tangled and twisted where people don't think that's going on. If an illegal immigrant comes to the United States of America and you have that baby in that damn trash can, then the baby could be a citizen, but the parent ain't. See, birthright citizenship and having that baby, that doesn't make the parent someone who can stay here. They already shut all that down. Matter of fact, they also shut down that you can't get married and stay here in America. There's been a hell of a lot of things that's been going on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to break it down for you right now, fam. We still out here blacking these people out, and they still out here getting shut down in the process. Let me tell you a few things that have not changed in the United States of America and a few things that they are still mad at. Look at this, family. Parents can still be deported. Yep. They blocked all the visas and the green cards. Yep. They ended TPS. Yep. They approved what? 70 billion for Border Patrol. I think 75, 80 billion for Border Patrol over the next, 3 years? Asylum seekers done for. Yep. They can't do none of that neither. Mass deportations have went up. Yep. Their asses are still going home. I don't see how they are winning at all in any of these situations. But what I do see in these situations, family, is they are more upset than they're leading on, and they're more broken down than they're leading on. Do we know that these people been out here trying to loophole us? Of course. Do we know these people been out here trying to run a game on us? Of course. But do we know damn well that it ain't affected our pockets none? It ain't affected our money none, family. Hell no. You better go ahead. Hey, listen, you a foundational. You better stand on it. You better stand on it. If you a foundational, you better go ahead and walk, fam. Same thing with the Carmelo Anthony case, fam. I seen everybody else breaking it down, and when everybody else was breaking it down, it was doom and gloom. Over here on the Black Ops Network, I was talking about riding. I was talking about getting it in. The same thing with the Cyrus Belton situation. And look what we turned that out to be, fam. We done turned that into a situation where black businesses are going up after that little boy was unalive, and they let Rick Chow Man go. You dig? It's the same exact thing with this scenario and the same exact thing with this situation. But I'm going to take it even a step further, fam. When we talk about the way that these people are putting out all these little things and they putting out all these little statements and they really think that they're coming up, but they really not. Let me show y'all that Stephen Miller came out and he was going in. It sounds like, whoa, hold on, double back. Sounds like this. Foundational Black Americans, we don't really give a damn because our situation ain't changed. We still exceptional, we still certified, and we still get to reparations. Sounds like this 14th Amendment situation has been a lot harder on the Mayo community than on the foundational Black American community. Y'all watch this right here. This is what I'm talking about. Boy, they mad and they melting down.
Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. So, Stephen, how'd you feel when you saw the decision come down?
Well, I had two feelings. First, the fact that it was 5-4, so agonizingly close, just underscored that the legal community on the right and left has been so wrong for so many years, saying this was going to be a 9-0 ruling against President Trump. The heartbreaking part of this is thinking about what it means for America over the long term. Well, the short term and the long term. Look, President Trump won some massive, unprecedented victories with the Supreme Court, like the Haitian TPS ruling, the asylum ruling, the slaughter ruling, giving him unfettered authority to terminate federal bureaucrats. But this is absolutely a deep knife wound in the heart of the American Republic. Look, Jesse, I can step tomorrow onto the deck of a 747. It does not mean that I am the pilot of that plane and I'm qualified to fly it. Just physically being on U.S. soil does not make you a citizen or qualified to carry on or capable of executing the inheritance of this country. We have people from all over the world, from third world nations, nations that on their own would have never invented the wheel, let alone modern technology, let alone medicine, let alone air travel. And they can just come into the country, have a baby at a hospital, paid for by you and me, and then that baby's automatically a citizen. That baby can sit on a jury when he turns 18 and sit in judgment of you and sit in judgment of me and sit in judgment of our loved ones, can decide who our mayors are, our governors are, our presidents are. Citizenship means nothing if it is open to everyone. The idea that you can have a cruise ship filled with foreigners and they just dock at a port for an hour and someone...
They mad, y'all. No, hey, we're not mad like that over here. Fam, examine who's mad and who's upset. And then look at us.
As a baby, Jesse, the baby's an American citizen. They can vote in every election for the rest of their lives. They can be living in a foreign country and cashing welfare checks from American citizens. Look, I know that some of the justices who worked on this they think that they're so intelligent. There is no possible reading of the 14th Amendment that applies to foreigners with foreign loyalties, foreign citizenship, foreign obligations, foreign everything. And here's another point. Here's a pretty good clue your constitutional interpretation is wrong. If your ruling requires you to suicide your civilization, your reading of the Constitution is wrong. President Grant and the congressmen in the 19th century did not want to create an automatic third world citizenship requirement for America. It's an abomination, but let's thank President Trump, because of President Trump's courage and leadership, we are now on the precipice. Yes, we were dealt a setback, but because of his courage alone, we're on the precipice as a nation of being in a position to end this.
Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security.
Boy, he mad as hell, ain't he? He mad as hell. He going another Mayo meltdown, y'all. Another Mayo meltdown. Look at him, fam. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he need to take a breath. He said, hey, fam, look, I'm telling y'all right now. It's the same thing, fam. It's like everything, yo. Everything. It's always everyone else is melting down. Everyone else is angry. Everyone else is feuding. And Black Americans is over here good. I don't want to see nobody running around here looking all doom and gloom, okay? Because I'm going to question your certified. You dig? We over here doing what we got to do. Because I'm going to tell you something. This right here is only a small thing. For us, it's a big thing for them. Why is it a big thing? Because they already running around here, fam, and telling everybody this. Let me show y'all what my brother Tariq had posted earlier, fam. Y'all check this out. Shout out to Tariq, by the way. Much respect, fam. Look at this right here, y'all. Look at these tethers. This is what I'm talking about. This is a tether. He said, FBA lost. Don't try to spin it, bro. Anchor baby citizenship is now the law of the land. And Tariq clapped back and said, a Nigerian tether claims we lost because his people can flee their homeland and drop off anchor babies. That's what they celebrating, fam. They celebrating that they can flee. Ain't nothing changed, man. These people are out here celebrating being able to flee and drop kids off in dumpsters, okay? Is this what we talking about? Man, it ain't win a damn thing. Fam, if celebrating fleeing is a win for you, then you're a loser. Let's make this clear. If that is your jam, then your ass lost. FBA, we don't never do that. We don't never do that. Hell to the no. No. Hell no. That's a good clapback by Tariq, by the way, too. Fam, let me say this for all of the fleers, all the hoppers, all the skippers, all the jumpers, all the tethers, all the no hairline communities, okay? Getting birthright citizenship. Okay, let's tell everybody this, fam. Getting birthright citizenship where you can drop your kid off in an alley or a dumpster behind a hotel or behind a restaurant, if that's winning to you, then you're a loser, okay? If dropping your child off behind a public store is a win, then you're a loser. I mean, bottom line, you can't even make this up, fam. Straight up and down. They're running around here celebrating being losers. That's what they celebrating, fam. They're literally celebrating being losers. If you drop your kid off behind a convenience store and that's winning to you, then you're a loser. If you drop your kid off behind a Motel 6 and that is winning to you, you are a loser. If you drop your kid off behind a pit stop corner store, then you are a loser. So winning is completely out the picture. So that's the difference. Look what foundational Black Americans be on. Look what they be on. We would never celebrate nothing like that. That would never be a big thing. There's no honor in none of that, and nobody honors none of that because you're not dealing with honorable people, fam. Let me tell y'all the mind state of these folks. Y'all look at this tether right here. This person straight up says that if it wasn't for America, she wouldn't have nothing. Fam, ain't nobody running around here looking at no damn illegals and saying, "Ooh, this is so good." They out here celebrating fleeing. Celebrate, ho, 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 ho. One more time, double up and bring it back, family. They out here straight up and down, fam, on some whole different time. They out here celebrating fleeing and then getting mad at us when we call them fleers. They out here jumping for joy that they can dump their kid off in an alley. She's so damn happy. Watch.
Birthright citizenship or even challenging it should not be even happening right now at the Supreme Court. As someone who is a child of immigrants who has birthright citizenship, who is a Salvadoreña Americana, born in the U.S., child of immigrants, it feels criminal that these rights are being questioned, because if it wasn't for my citizenship, I would not have been able to get the grants, the opportunities, the jobs that I've had in my career that have not only benefited me, but also benefited my family. My dad is about to have his citizenship test in 1 month from now. And I couldn't.
So you wouldn't have anything without America. Look at these folks, fam. They're telling you. Without birthright citizenship, they wouldn't have anything from America. That ain't winning. That's mooching.
That I've had in my career that have not only benefited me, but also benefited my family. My dad is about to have his citizenship test in 1 month from now. And I couldn't have helped my dad get his green card and work his way up if it wasn't for my citizenship, because I applied and sponsored him. Ending birthright citizenship is going to leave thousands of kids without status. It makes no sense other than the fact that we as an identity, as a culture, are a threat to this government. They do not want to see us prosper because they know the impact that we have. Birthright citizenship.
You are a threat to this government because you have an allegiance to people who are not a part of this government. You have an allegiance to foreigners. There you go. So yeah, you got that halfway right. I ain't gonna lie, you got that halfway right, but you ain't all the way tight. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all this right here, fam. That's exactly what we be meaning, y'all. These people have allegiance to foreign governments. Essentially, America has brought in, legally and illegally, a bunch of treasonists that they just sit right here in America and say, go ahead and do it. But remember, y'all, we've been delineating. So we've been separating ourselves from these individuals. We've been delineating so we know how to stand away from these folks. Foundational Black Americans, we understand that the more you move away from these folks, the better it is. When you bring in people to the United States of America unvetted, you don't know who these people are. You don't know where they come from. The one thing you know is they're not from here, and they clearly have an assistance and an allegiance to other people. That right there is very, very problematic. That right there is very, very indicative of what's going on right now. This is why people be popping up at the border left and right, and they be saying all types of crazy things. How many of you guys have seen when we talk about these people coming to America? You guys remember that video that I played a long time ago with the guy at the border, and he says, you don't know who I am, soon you will know who I am. Remember that, fam? Y'all notice how hush-hush they've been about that? Y'all notice how quiet they've been about that? They don't ever talk about that, family. They keep that real quiet and under wraps. They know the type of people that they're bringing in. But quite frankly, fam, they sacrifice the United States of America all for them getting low-wage labor work, a labor force. That's all they do. Because they know if they bring in these people and these people aren't standing on any type of business for America, then they got the perfect out. And that is exactly what we're talking about. Y'all remember that video? That's exactly what they've been doing. And this birth tourism, fam, it goes on all across the world. But the main thing is they always want to come here to America. I showed you the one earlier with them trying to go to Asia or having Asians come here to America. And then it also goes on in Africa. A lot of y'all remember this broadcast or this video from this broadcast right here. This is what I'm talking about. A 37-week pregnant Nigerian woman stopped from flying to the U.S. so her baby can get American citizenship. Family, they had to stop this woman because this woman was on her way to the USA. Watch this.
I'm begging. No, please don't beg me. She's in an advanced stage of pregnancy. It's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport. What's your final destination today?
No, today. Today in London.
Okay.
But I'm going to US tomorrow.
You're going to the US tomorrow, okay? When you went for your American visa, did you tell the visa officer that you were pregnant?
No.
You did? No. Okay. Is there any reason why you didn't tell the visa officer that you were pregnant?
It didn't come up.
It didn't come up. Okay, what I'm going to do is...
The woman is only 7 weeks away from giving birth, yet has decided to visit her sister in America, claiming she will return 3 weeks before her due
It says
date.
that you're fit to travel. Babies born in the UK don't automatically qualify for a British passport, but babies born in the US do automatically qualify for an American passport. So it's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport.
Sarah is suspicious of the woman's motive for traveling to the US via the UK, but she could also be in breach of airline regulations for traveling whilst pregnant.
She don't care about none of that. She don't care, fam. They don't care about their family, y'all. Fam, they trying to get over here to America by any fleas necessary.
5th of June.
When is her return?
16th of May. So she's got 3 weeks between her return date and her due date, which makes her 37 weeks pregnant, which is over every airline's limit.
The woman is in breach of the airline's policy, but as she has a valid US visa, Sarah must now contact the US Embassy.
Hi, it's Sarah. I'm at the airport at the moment. I just wondered if you could give a call to the American embassy so that they can check an American visa for me. She's at the airport today, and she's in advanced state of pregnancy. So if you can just give them a call and find out if they're happy with that, and if so, then we can let her travel.
It's minutes before the flight leaves, but whether or not the pregnant woman will be on board is up to the US Embassy.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll do that then. Okay. Thanks very much. All right. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. That was the American embassy, and they want to speak to her today.
The flight will be leaving without the pregnant woman. Now Sarah must tell her the news.
So what I've done is I've contacted the visa man and explained your situation. What he'd like to do is can you go back to the embassy here in Lagos, show him all this paperwork, and he'll want to speak to you. I'm sorry, I know it's frustrating, but if you can go back to...
Look how she looked away, fam. She don't want to hear that. She's thinking, damn, there goes my meal ticket.
Him, because Madam, please, Madam, please, I'm begging. No, please don't beg me. Please don't beg me. No, Madam, please don't beg me.
The pregnant woman did not make it to the USA. When she failed to turn up at the American embassy, her visa was cancelled.
I'm begging.
There you go. There goes your birthright citizenship members right damn there. She got the hell up out of there, fam. Soon as the going get tough, they got to go. And she fled from trying to flee. Let me ask y'all, how in the hell do you flee from fleeing? She fled when she got caught. But that's who people been bringing into the United States of America. These are the individuals that they've been allowing to come here. And it's been going on like that for quite some time, for a very, very long time, as a matter of fact. This is why it's very essential for us to continue to delineate, fam. You don't recognize something's out of place. You don't know that individual. You make sure you sidestep them, fam. You make sure you sidestep them, because right now, it's about to go haywire. They're going to have all different types of people coming in and trying to pull these little games, because immigration really means invitation. All right. Immigration means invitation. The whole world knows that you can come to the United States of America and we have the trashiest immigration laws, because again, fam, there's really no laws for immigration in America. They can say there are, but they're not. It could be the most definitive, clear law about immigration in America, and they'll turn this into some type of debate. That's what they'll do. They literally tell you in the United States of America that the federal agency that arrests people who are illegal is some type of Gestapo criminal agency. Basically, what they're trying to say is that they want full-fledged, nonstop immigration at mass for people to surge and blitz the border. Joe Biden even said that, family. That's really what it is. Don't listen to these people when they talk, fam. When you listen to the Democrats or the immigration supporting Republicans, do they ever talk like they want this stuff to ever end? Do they ever find a solution for any of this, family? No, they don't. They'll sit there and they'll talk about this all damn day long, but nobody will ever come to any form of conclusion. And I also want you to think about, as we talk about the Supreme Court, family, I know Clarence Thomas, he be out there tap dancing left and right. He be out there tap dancing left and right. We ain't gonna lie about that, family. Clarence Thomas be out there tap dancing. But one of the reasons, family, why we've been delineating, regulating, and separating is because and I need y'all opinion on this. I really need y'all to talk to me on this one, fam. We understand about Clarence Thomas. We understand. One of the reasons why foundational Black Americans, we take delineation so serious is because even our tap dancers in our community stand on business more than tethers do. Yes, they do. You can tap dance. You can buck dance. You could be a DOC, a domestic off-code coon. Yes, the hell you can. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a hell of a lot of Black Americans who would prefer to deal with that than to deal with something like this. Fam, I'm not here to put all these people in different boxes. I'm not in here to divvy things up. But let's go there and let's be real about it, family. Let's go there and let's be real about it, y'all. Clarence Thomas is talking like this. Now, we know he's domestic. We know he's from here. We know his history. But this one right here, Ketanji Brown Jackson, a tether, a non-Black American, a Zaddy chaser, she talks way more different than Clarence Thomas. If this doesn't prove, family, why delineation is so damn serious, why delineation is such a necessity, then right here is going to bring it all the way home. Listen to her example on 14th Amendment and why it should apply to illegals.
I was thinking about this, and I think there are various sources that say this, that you obviously have permanent allegiance based on being born in whatever country you're from. That's what everybody recognizes. But you also have local allegiance when you are on the soil of this other sovereign. And I was thinking, I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, the Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me. It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter of law? I can also rely on them if my wallet is stolen to, under Japanese law, go and prosecute the person who has stolen it. So there's this relationship based on, even though I'm a temporary traveler, I'm just on vacation in Japan, I'm still locally owing allegiance in that. I was thinking about
local allegiance. What the hell does that mean? No. One more time, y'all.
This, and I think there are various sources that say this, that you obviously have permanent allegiance based on being born in whatever country you're from. That's what everybody recognizes. But you also have local allegiance when you are on the soil of this other sovereign. And I was thinking, I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, the Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me. It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter?
No, it's not. That's called you have to abide by the law. What the hell is she talking about? What, fam? Are y'all following this? Are y'all following this, family? I'm lost as hell. I'm lost as hell. And then a local allegiance where if I steal something in Japan, somehow she talking about Japan. I don't know what's worse, fam. Her talking like this or when she couldn't define what a woman was.
They're sovereign. And I was thinking, I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, the Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me. It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter of law? I can also rely on them if my wallet is stolen to, under Japanese law, go and prosecute the person who has stolen it. So there's this relationship based on, even though I'm a temporary traveler, I'm just on vacation in Japan, I'm still locally owing allegiance in that. I was thinking about this, and I think
Bam, and I'm thinking about what the hell you was just saying right there, because I don't know what she's talking about. Somebody says the clause. And ain't her people from the Caribbean? If I'm not mistaken, family, her people are from the Caribbean, and she got a zaddy too at home. She got a zaddy too at home, family. Y'all let me know something. I think her people is Caribbeans. Okay, so that's what you end up getting. I'm lost as hell, fam. But you see what I'm talking about? She got an allegiance to outside of America. She got an allegiance to outside of foundationals. That's what we be saying. Now, for how she talk like that, family, you know what I'm saying? Clarence Thomas was saying this right here. Now, again, I'm not saying one better than the other. Now, I am. He's better than her, okay? Straight up and down. Now, are they both on the off-code side? Hell yeah. But check this out. She's Caribbean? Okay. All right. Absolutely. There you go.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights. Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government.
Now, all I'm going to say is he didn't sit there and go, and in Japan, I took $2, right? And if you take $2 from Japan, then you got to give $20 back to China because it all kind of is the same thing, right? No. But what I am saying, family, the reason why I highlighted both of those is because it just goes to show y'all, when somebody does not have a tie to America. You got to watch it. So this is why a lot of people are saying we got to start getting these foreigners out of politics. Fam, you got to understand, these people have infiltrated America on almost every single level. These people have infiltrated America in terms of being here illegally, one, being here and marrying your brother to get here. Shout out to Omar. And then also these people have rise to the ranks in America where they're simply telling you that they're looking out for their own kind. They're looking out for their own people. They're not looking out for Black Americans or America whatsoever. That is why people are saying there needs to be something to where illegals cannot come to the United States of America. And if you come to the United States of America, you cannot at all rise up the ranks in the political world. Those are the two things that have to be established right here in the USA. Because if not, you're going to deal with a lot of these people who say a lot of things that make no damn sense while everybody sits back and just watches them. And we all be knowing these folks be babbling. We all know they be babbling. They just be making stuff up. Nothing makes any sense. They don't connect no dots. Any of that right there is, all of that, shall I say, is absolutely the opposite of what FBA stands on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how in the hell, fam, you tell me the American, again, that can go to any of these foreign countries and maintain any position in government, let alone a high position in government. Kamala Harris, she's a prime example. Barack Obama, a prime example. Notice, fam, that all of these people who come over here to the United States of America, they take these positions and they do everything that's to the contrary of what we got going on. They do everything to the contrary of what we've worked for. They don't ever do anything that builds up the United States of America. They only do things that bring down the United States of America. That's exactly what it is. I mean, think about it, family. When you start hearing stuff like this, is this somebody who's coming to America to contribute or to eat the dogs?
They have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people in Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio. And
I'm just saying, though, family, how many of these folks is coming into America and they not worried about contributing, fam? They worried about finding the nearest Muffy. Come on.
ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people are on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Thanks for watching.
They have done to our country.
I'm just saying, fam. Again, those are the results of bringing everybody in when you don't know who the hell everybody is. That's the difference between what we doing and what everybody else is doing, fam. They sitting there saying, no, these can't come in the United States of America. These folks might pull up and they may have all different types of practices, all different types of allegiances. We already know that. And these folks may have all different types of beliefs. And one of them that they do is that right there. And that damn show ain't what we do right over here, fam. You see what we talking about? That right there, clear as day, family. And the main thing, and I'm going to tell y'all this, fam, and this is a way that you got to examine all of this stuff, right? The more we delineate and the more we come up in a specific way, that only furthers the delineation. Remember that, y'all. All this talk about the babies of slaves, all this talk about the 14th Amendment, all this has done is strengthened our delineation. No longer can they just say it's something that we're saying in the grassroots. Now we're saying it in the grassroots and they're acknowledging it at the highest levels. And we're going to leverage all of that on all levels. Every single time that they start talking about these illegals, every single time they start talking about these migrants, every time they start talking about these anchor babies, that's creating an even further distinction that they ain't like us. They way the hell over there, dropping their babies off in dumpsters and trash cans, and we right here building the United States of America. That's what it is. See, I look at this situation even further, fam. I see beyond the veil. Everybody looking at it from a surface level. I'm looking at the roots of this. And the roots of this tells and shows everybody that foundational Black Americans Our history is clear as day. Fam, they talking about your history right now. Damn they little loopholes. Damn whatever cons and scams they come up with. I don't give a damn what they do, because it still can't change the fact you talking about my history. You talking about my ancestors. You're talking about our elders. You're talking about our lineage. You ain't talking about the illegals. You ain't talking about the anchor kids. You ain't talking about the anchor tethers. You talking about what foundational Black Americans have done here in the United States of America. Again, we are the platform and the vice that they got to use to even piggyback themselves over here. Every single thing that they do, family, it still does what? It still runs through us. Every single lie, every single hustle, every single scam, they got to bring up the 14th Amendment. They got to bring up civil rights. Family, this is why I wasn't tripping on none of this. Because let Black Alpha tell you something that ain't nobody said and ain't nobody else going to say, but you know I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it in the Leo way, family. The same exact thing that they've been doing with the 14th Amendment is the same exact thing that they've been doing with the Civil Rights Act. So why anybody out here acting brand new? Why you running around here thinking that something catastrophic happened today? Why you running around here thinking something mega just went on, fam? They've been out here hustling foundational Black American ancestors for a long time. And the only way to stop that is through delineation. And we stopping that through delineation. You wouldn't even had this conversation if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans and delineating. Remember, fam, they've never had a discussion or a vote at the Supreme Court about the 14th Amendment until now. You mean to tell me that just happens to be a coincidence? You mean to tell me that's just a coincidence, family? That's just some type of accident? Fam, they never ever had a vote on the 14th Amendment until the same time foundational Black Americans are delineating. Do you see the connection, y'all? Do you see what I'm talking about? The same exact time that we're delineating is the same exact time you're having all of these different votes and conversations. We done made this a national debate. We done made this a national discourse. Everybody has to acknowledge our history. Everybody has to acknowledge the path that we have blazed. They can try to loophole it all they want to. We're going to shut it down. They can try to scam all damn day long. We're going to shut it down. The same way we shutting down all them damn Asian shops and salons and every damn thing they got. We shutting all of them down the same way we doing this right here, fam. The same way we shutting down all them damn Asian shops, the same way we can shut this, fam. That's what it's all about. They hustled the Civil Rights Act that was for our ancestors. Somehow they loopholed immigrants into it. They hustled and scammed the 14th Amendment, which is for our ancestors. Somehow they they brought in a bunch of different illegals into all of that. But let me tell you every single thing that they do wrong. Every single time that they do that, they're only creating a further distinction between us and them. If you got to speak about foundational Black Americans and say this is really for them, but the illegals came in, then you've already separated us. See, back in the old days, they said that we were them. Yeah, remember that, fam? They said we were a Black and brown coalition. They said we were people of color. They said we were all minorities. You can't say we're any of those things when you got to talk about us exclusively. You can't say that we're any of those people when you got to talk about us directly. You can't say we're any of those people when you got to talk about us specifically. Every single time I turn around, y'all be out here speaking of delineation just as much as we do. You just don't want to call it delineation. Well, I'm going to say it for you, delineation. And we're going to add regulating and we're going to add separation to the fray. You know damn well these people try to hustle foundational Black Americans, but you can't hustle the hustlers. You know damn well they try to scam us, but you can't scam us because we're going to see it before you even started. This 14th Amendment belongs to us. And it's another thing too, fam. Remember they were telling us that we was going to get deported? And then on the other hand, they said that the 14th Amendment is for us. It can't be both. So we just called them bluff now, didn't we? We just called them bluff. And ain't we been calling them bluff? And ain't we been calling them out? And ain't we been standing on business and pushing principle, family? You goddamn right, fam. All we do is win. All we do is win. And we've been shutting that down, and we've been doing it in such a smooth factor, y'all. A smooth way. A smooth way. FBA don't play. Not in this generation, y'all. Not in this generation. So I advise all my brothers and sisters and my certifieds family to go ahead and take all of this, fam, and use this as more further leverage that the reparations bag is on its way. Every single thing. Because if you notice, fam, everything is getting more airtight, ain't it? Everything is getting airtight now. You starting to see and you starting to hear a lot of things that people are saying, and everything that people are saying all ties back into us. How you gonna say blacks and brown? How you gonna say that, family, when you got to say foundational Black American? How you gonna say people of color when you got to say foundational Black American? You can't. Absolutely. They still losing. They said, fam, at the end of the day, everything we said was correct. Foundational Black Americans, we are the people who built America. Foundational Black Americans, we can't be deported. Foundational Black Americans, we good in the hood. Can't say that about them because they didn't build America. They fled to America. They can be deported. We can't. And they ain't too good in the hood, but their asses is going to be flying in that plane right on back to where their asses ran from in the first place. So everything always comes back full surface. Everything always comes back to us. Everything always ends where it started, and it started with certifies. And one of the things that we've been shutting down, y'all, is this: we're all Black. Fam, there's a lot of changes that have been going on. A lot of changes, fam. And this is what I want to talk to everybody about. No longer are we going to be hyper-focused on race. We're going to be focused on lineage, race, and know when to use them interchangeably. See, when you talk about race, somebody can come over here and say, hey, I'm Black too, brother. But when you talk about lineage, they can't say that they foundational. See, the world is becoming very, very ethnic, nationality, and lineage based. And I've been saying that, y'all know, for the longest time, family. So what we're doing now, and if you're seeing America's doing it, everything is becoming lineage based. Why the hell you think they running around here talking about some heritage American? That's them trying to get on board with what we've been doing. But notice, fam, they following us. Think about that, fam. Who run the show? Who run the yard? Who the certifieds, fam? We ain't running around here calling us no damn heritage Americans. They running around here saying that they're heritage Americans because they seen that we were in front of them. So now they're trying to jump on it. A heritage American ain't no foundational Black American. There can only be one foundational. See, when you start talking race and everybody's all the same, that opens the door for anybody to show up. But when you start talking about lineage, heritage, and culture, that's the difference. See, fam, thinking about things just from a racial standpoint, that's very elementary. That's very elementary. Well, I'm Black. Well, who's Black? We all Black, technically, even though I wasn't Black last week, even though I said we know Black, but my skin is melanated. The whole lineage thing is different, fam. See, what we're doing now is, instead of people typically saying racism, now a lot of times now people are starting to say, or shall we say, is lineage discrimination, lineage prejudice, anti-foundational. Those are terms that Black Alpha wants to see pushed into the lexicon. And we're going to start having to use those terms more because those are more delineation terms. Racism is not a delineation term, okay? Anytime you start talking just race, race is flat Blackness, okay? Race is very vague. Who could it be? We don't know yet, all right? And since we want to sit here and talk about 14th Amendment, the 14th Amendment is not about race. The 14th Amendment is about lineage. Remember that, fam. So while everybody runs around here and they're mad at us for delineating and they don't want to give us our proper etiquette and our proper credit for being our own specific, exclusive lineage, heritage, and culture, every time you mention the 14th Amendment, you have to mention foundational Black Americans. And we're going to make sure you do it. That's why I told everybody we took this whole 14th Amendment conversation and we done flipped it upside down and we done put that FBA stamp on it. That's a boss move. That's what hustlers do. That's what we doing, y'all. So we done turned the tide on everybody. So when they say 14th Amendment, now you got to say foundational Black American, don't you? Every single time you say the babies are slaves, you got to say foundational Black American now, don't you? You're not running around here now saying all Black. You ain't saying African. You ain't saying Jamaican. You ain't saying Haitian. Those are all old, outdated terms that we step on because we was never with them in the first place. This conversation has only further strengthened and highlighted foundational Black Americans as a lineage, heritage, and culture. And we, as the certifieds, only thing we did, fam, is that we done planted that damn flag and you see that FBA spinning and they can't stop it. Watch this right here. This is what I'm talking about. Family, you gonna have a hell of a lot of people trying to run around here and make everything blackety, blackety, black. But remember, y'all, we the only certified Blacks because they the me-no Blacks. Watch.
Actually, no, brother. When we are talking about Black-owned businesses, we cannot only be talking about Black American-owned businesses. If we were, that would mean that Black Americans are the only Black people that exist in the world, which we are not. Black is an umbrella term that is used to classify anybody that is of African descent.
There you go. That's why we are speaking as a lineage. Oh, fam, we lineage specific now. Listen to what she just said. Listen to what she said, fam. She said Black is an umbrella term. Fam, an umbrella term is not going to be suitable in today's world. Maybe if you went back to the 1930s, maybe back then, but Blackness has never just been something that we could just say, oh, it's an umbrella term. No, family. We don't use umbrella terms. An umbrella term will have somebody coming here from the Congo getting your reparations. An umbrella term has somebody who said he know black yesterday saying he's black today when he sees that damn dollar bill. An umbrella term will have Ghana trying to get your reparations. Fam, we know when to say black and we know when to say foundational black. A foundational black is us, a lineage. Black is an umbrella term. Well, damn it, we're going to go ahead and close that umbrella because it ain't raining.
So that means that this term black includes Africans and Jamaicans and Haitians and Afro-Cubans and Puerto Ricans that are of African descent and so on and so on. This includes anybody who, when they're filling out a census or when they are talking about their ethnicity and they're checking it off in America, they have to actually X off the box black. I completely understand wanting to prioritize black, quote unquote, American businesses and give and spend money to those particular businesses first. But black Americans, come on now. You can't just hijack a whole classification and say the only black owned businesses are black, quote unquote, American businesses. It's just not true. Now,
yeah, we do, because we said black American. Fam, everybody knows what a black American is. All right, let's stop playing. Y'all know damn well what a black American is. A black American is a foundational black American. A foundational black American ain't just black. Okay? Hell no. Notice how she's so fixated on keeping the conversation within the realms of just umbrella. We don't do that.
Now, as much as I have come to hate the term foundational black American because of reasons that go beyond that term, which we're not going to talk about in this video, if those are the businesses that we want to support specifically, then name the business a foundational black American business. But trying to take people whole.
Oh, we have been. You damn right. Okay, foundational black American business. But guess what? You're going to complain about that. Yo, 1 head, 2 head, your 3 head, your 4 head, your 5 head, your 6 head, your 18th head, your 19th head, your 22nd head, your 26th head, and your 35th head is all going to complain because you got all of them on top of your damn shoulders, but you still can't get in on foundational black American business. It ain't your business, so mind your business. Fam, that's what it's all about, okay? It's all about us. Foundational black Americans, fam. You see this USA? Y'all know I famously said it at the Rally for Reparations. There'd be no USA without FBA. Trust me. This is why everybody who wants to come to the USA has to use FBA as their own platforms and their own props. Let me say that one more time, family, for those in the back row. There'd be no USA without FBA. So that's why everybody who comes to the USA has to use FBA as their way in the door. But the door is closed. Shut down, deadbolt, locked, no access, access denied, return to sender. We reject your deposit. It's only foundational black Americans. So the very fact that you're having all of these conversations about lineage, that's because of us. The very fact that you're having all these conversations about heritage and ethnicity and nationality and culture is all about us. I remember a time when they didn't want to have these specific conversations. They just wanted to have an umbrella term. Like I said, fam, we don't do umbrella terms because it ain't raining and the sun stays shining on us. Now, you're going to have to see that rain in your homeland, though, because you're going to go over to your homeland and it's going to be raining. And you're going to go over to your homeland and it's going to be pouring. And you're going to be over in your homeland and it might even be flooding. And it seems like it floods every single time that people try to play us with reparations. You have a fake reparations conference one time and it floods. Then you have another fake reparations conference another time and it floods. And if all the people who said that they was going to come over here and they was going to Haitian up Juneteenth, well, a few days later, now you're asking Haitian up TPS. How about that one? Family, they're still getting deported. You can drop off your anchor baby. That don't mean a damn thing, okay? Because I understand that anchor baby ain't going to win. Fam, there ain't no future in somebody who was birthed outside of a grocery store in the back alley. You can have that one. Foundationals, we don't comprehend that. We don't stand by that. We ain't on that. Let me tell you what we do, though. What we do is that we stay thorough and we watch every single move that's made. We stay thorough and we watch how these people speak. And when we watching how these people speak, I realize they speaking like us. Yes, the hell they are. And it's no coincidence that they speaking like us during this regulating time, during this blackout, during this delineation period. Every single thing that these people are talking is straight up a ripoff of foundational black Americans. That's all it is. Every single thing that they talking about is ripoff of us, fam. So that lets you know that we are the ones who are controlling everything. And if you notice, y'all, we ain't been moved off of our pivot, have we? We ain't been moved, fam. I don't give a damn, fam. Think about everything that's been going on. Think about every single situation. Think about the Carmelo Anthony situation. Think about the Cyrus Belton situation. Think about this boycott, this blackout, every single thing, fam. Nothing has moved us. We are still 10 toes down, super solid, super certified, ain't going no damn where, but they can. It's been this way, y'all. That is why we, as a lineage, heritage, and culture, are completely changing everything that they thought they knew about us and everything they thought they knew about America. We're literally changing America again for the millionth time. You know why we're changing America, family? It's because we're the only ones with the power to change America, because we're the only ones who built America. He who built America is he who can change America. And all my brothers and sisters are changing America right in front of your eyes. Fam, we've been changing America. You ain't even know it. You ain't even know it that we've been out here building America, huh? You ain't even know it. We've been out here changing America, huh? See, fam, when these people are out here having all these discussions about all these amendments, that's Black Americans changing America again for the 100th time. When these people are out here having all these different conversations about deporting these people, that's foundational Black America changing America again for the 100th time again. Every single thing that we're doing is changing this country in real time. I can't make it more clear than that. Every single thing that we're doing is because we're moving cohesive as one unit. And that right there is the most exciting part about it, y'all. That's why. Notice, y'all, when we move together, we move mountains. Remember, when we move together, we move mountains. And you got to give it up to certified foundational Black Americans. So, family, they can have all of these different conversations. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They can talk like that right there. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They can talk like them right there. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But one thing they will never change, family, is this right here. Because that right there is what built America. Oh, y'all knew Black Alpha was going to turn up today. Y'all knew Black Alpha was going to have something up his sleeves, and it was going to be certified foundational Black American. For anybody who tapped in today and that 14th Amendment birthright citizenship had you a little hot and bothered, I know you done changed up real quick, family, after about 5 minutes of tapping in with all the certifieds. Now you see, family, that it's all about us. I love being on the front stage. I love being the center of attention. I love all eyes on me. You tell me right now a conversation that has not circulated around us. That only happens if you number one. That only happens if you the champion. That only happens if you are the foundation, y'all. Everything revolves around the foundation. It's very poetic, y'all. Very poetic. And let me show y'all something that's even more further. If you want to know that foundational Black Americans was always correct, then let me send this to one of the greatest foundational Black Americans ever. Certified salute to him, Dr. Claude Anderson. He got a little something to tell y'all, and listen very, very carefully and closely, because it comes home right to what we was talking.
Is that you're going to have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no Black politician, no Black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for Black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, is that you're going to have an
Family, do you see how Dr. Claude Anderson was right there and he called everything that's happening right now? Listen to him, fam. Listen to Dr. Claude Anderson. Every single thing that he said right there is exactly what's going on now. You cannot change it. This man literally prophesies every single thing. Well, let me double up and bring it back, y'all. If Dr. Claude Anderson was predicting every single thing that was going on then we have the same power and ability, brought to you by FBA, to predict everything that's going on now. And he told everybody how America was going to bring in all these illegals and all these immigrants, and they was going to come here and they was going to be anti-Black. And now, since us in the grassroots, we're the ones who listened, we're the ones who learned, and we're the ones who adapted. So what we're doing, family, is that we're taking what Dr. Claude Anderson told us, And now we're using that against those people. What he said was very real. And what we're doing about it is just as real. And what are we doing about it, y'all? Delineating. How delineation saved America. I'm telling you now, fam, delineation has been the most powerful thing because delineation brings to you stuff like that right there, family. Remember, y'all, I want y'all to keep this locked all the way in. Ancestors over anchors. Yes. Ancestors over anchors, family. That's what FBA is out here doing. We standing on our ancestors, not these anchor babies, because they know they are not us. We know they are not like us, and everybody knows they are not like us. So if you got a bunch of they not like us around us, then damn it, everything is signed, sealed, and delivered. So that's the most exceptional thing that we have created. And family, I'm loving the flow. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the vibration. It only gets better from here. Nobody can stop this FBA train because this FBA train done took off, fam. This FBA train done took off, fam, and we are the ones right in front of the line. But family, I want to show this to everybody, and I want everybody to listen to me very carefully. Check this out, y'all. A wonderful thing went on, and a lot of people love the energy and the vibration. And this energy and vibration is going to be brought to you by Foundations. So when you see something going on, you hear something that, is off kind of putting, let me go ahead and put it to you the best way, fam. Look at your screen right there, fam, as we break all of this down. And I want y'all to listen carefully and closely to what I'm about to play, because this is going to tell y'all exactly where we are in this movement, and it's going to show y'all our resolve. Listen carefully.
I just couldn't figure out how we was going to get that unity. But you guys,
fleeing the scene. Go as you did last. On your right, you better look at.
Because I'm living here in Memphis.
Y'all say shout out to Mr. Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy, he called in. We got respect for you, fam. This is how we moving, y'all. Listen very cautious and very carefully to Mr. Jimmy.
All the way, bro. Thank you.
Thanks, twin. Was you trying to come up, Jimmy?
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, I wanted to say something because I'm living here in Minnesota. And, I'm a baby boomer. So, what you guys are doing is something so amazing to me, because back when I was listening to Dr. Claude Anderson back in the 90s, I just couldn't figure out how we was going to get that unity.
When he was listening to Dr. Claude Anderson in the 90s.
But you guys, took that blueprint and you put it together. And I want to say, on Juneteenth, okay, I live in a strip mall. It's kind of major in Minneapolis, South Side. And they did a Juneteenth thing that I went to. I just stepped into it, and there was only one black vendor there, and all the rest was immigrants, And the Jamaicans, they were showing their flags. I couldn't believe that. And I didn't stay. I did, give money to the only black vendor there, but I was wondering why he was even there. I just don't know. I felt so, offended because I felt the invasion. I could feel it in real life, and not on just the internet, you talking about it. And you guys hit it on the nose every time you talk. I go investigate exactly what you say it is, in that narrative that you're saying it in. And then I can't see how other black people can't get it. But I can say this, when I was there was no other black people there. There was just immigrants,
Listen to how Mr. Jimmy breaking down exactly what Dr. Claude said. But now watch him say how he's inspired by us. Baby boomers, stand up.
Do me a favor before you leave, sir. You got to go over to YouTube as fast as you can. And you got to subscribe to the Black Author Network. We need you over there. We need some
I'm already there, brother.
Yeah, he already said he listening to us. He already there. He on point.
Is this Black Alpha?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man, I'm so grateful to, hear from you, man, personally, because, you just took me in there and just took, every narrative I used to think I knew, I see there's something new right there that's challenging, and you're right there up on front, homeboy, and you got me, man. You got me. I respect you highly, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, sir. 100%. Thank you so much.
I'm going to follow y'all all the way to the end, okay? Because I never seen nothing like this in I'm almost 65 in a couple months. I never seen nothing like this,
65 in a couple months and never seen nothing like this. Don't let these people tell y'all that we ain't running to y'all. Don't let these people tell y'all we ain't unified. Don't let these people tell y'all that we ain't changing the world, y'all. Shout out to the fam.
Since the 60s, okay? So, in the early 70s. But after that, nothing like this. So this right here is an important part of, my legacy right here in my life, because I know I'm an FBA and I'm producing that, to people, I'm calling it out. People I didn't know there was people just so dumbfounded, that just don't understand, but there is. And you have to, sit there and, take the time to let them understand how we are special to this country, because it's ours, and I thank you, I thank you so much for enlightening me, to things I didn't know about, where I thought I did know all this stuff, but there's a lot more to learn. And, I'm just going along with you guys. You're like pioneers to me, young pioneers is going out strong, and you got my back, all the way. These baby boomers, it's just, I'm trying to educate them over here on the backside. That's all I can say. But, thank you very much, for pushing us forward, that before I go, I know that, I was worried there for a minute, that what was going to happen to us, the way that was manipulated, if you could see it, but you got to be educated to see it, you see it. And you say like, oh my God, we're doomed because we was self-destructing. And then all of a sudden you guys pop up. And then, you're bringing that, enlightenment to younger people. And, and like a long time ago, I was listening to, a lecture from intellectual, and he had said, that you can't just have one leader, you can't just have one person, you got to have a whole crew where, they can't queue off like they did with, the different representatives that we used to have. You know what I'm saying? There's too many of us. There's no way that they can defeat the word. You know what I'm saying? The movement.
No way that they can defeat us, fam. There's too many of us.
For number one.
Well, guess what, Mr. Jimmy? What a time to be alive, right? So,
ain't it though?
What
Wow.
a time to be alive.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Wow. You're telling the truth, right?
Let's go, family. You already know. What a time to be alive. And if you alive and you certified, then it feels even sweeter, family. Had to. So many people was hitting me up, and so many people was telling me that they was crying, and that got them, and that was deep right there, fam. So I had to play that for everybody to hear it, because I want everybody to feel it in their spirit. You dig? It's all about us foundational Black Americans, fam. This is the best summer ever, because this is the best year ever, because we are the best lineage ever. And everywhere we go, fam, the best is right there next to us, fam. I love the energy and the passion that we have created, because we have created it by standing together as one. And you see the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, the millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, everybody. If you live and breathe and certified foundational Black American right here, right now, then you are representing every single foundational Black American who has ever taken a breath. And that right there is very exceptional, and it's very powerful, and it's all happening right here in the United States of America, our home. These people can feud and fight. The Mayos and the migrants can feud and fight. You can have anchor babies and anchor tethers. They can feud and fight. The one thing that has not changed, y'all, is us. The one thing that has not pivoted, that has not switched courses, is us. We are still focus on what we need to focus on. We're still moving better, stronger than ever, and we are still setting an example to the future generations that will come after us, that when you FBA all damn day. And that's the big part. That's the most focal point. I love the passion that all my brothers and sisters are having. But let me tell you what I love even further. No matter what pops off, a brother or sister got an idea. Y'all got a plan. Y'all got a strategy. I remember when folks did not strategize and they would just be trying to come up with things willy-nilly and it wouldn't really go nowhere. Have y'all noticed if it's economic, a brother or sister going to have a plan for that. If it's social, brother or sister going to have a plan for that. Public, political, a brother or sister going to have a plan for that. So this 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship, we already knew what it was, fam. We ain't asking these people. See, let me tell you something. The reason why foundational Black Americans were unaffected by what went on today is because we ain't never gave a damn what they thought. This wasn't up to their examples. This wasn't up to their discernment. This wasn't up to their opinion. Everything was always about us in the first damn place. Birthright citizenship is for foundational Black Americans and foundational Black Americans only. I don't give a damn what the Supreme Court says. I don't give a damn what the Democrats say, what the Republicans say. I don't give a damn what illegals say. We weren't sitting here debating. We weren't sitting here arguing, complaining. We weren't apologizing. It's always been what we say. So you know that it applies to us because you know that it comes from us. So with that said, fam, it was case closed before the case even started. You knew damn well it was all about FBA. And that's the difference between back in the day and right now, fam. We're not sitting there waiting to see what the court says. We ain't sitting there waiting to see what the president says. We don't give a damn what neither of them say because we realize it ain't about them. It's about us. And family, when you got that it's all about us energy, then everything about you gets done. And that's why we're getting every single thing done. Remember, y'all, it's not about the outsiders. It's about the insiders. Who are the insiders? The foundational Black Americans. And we standing right here, fam. Chest out, chin up, head to the sky. Mind on my money, got my money on my mind. Remember that. So I want everybody to lock this in, and I want everybody to see it for what it's hitting for. Certified FBA all damn day. All we do is win. All we do is get it in, and everything will fall into place exactly the way it's going. And family, nothing can change this blackout. Why? It's because this blackout is 24/7, 365. 24/7, 365, all the way back around. So I love y'all with a passion, and I want y'all to stay on it. And we're going to continue to bring the heat. And you know, every time you tap into the Black Alpha Network, family, we're going to be exactly that, fam. We're going to be a network of a bunch of winners. So anything that pop up, we're going to put it down, okay? We're going to stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. That's how we're going to do it, y'all. So I want y'all to have a great night. I will see you guys again on Friday. We got an extra special show on Friday, family. And remember, there'd be no USA without FBA. Certified all the damn time. All right, y'all stay good. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay vigilant. It has been another great episode, family. And I want all my brothers and sisters to know one thing for certain. If you a certified rider, just know that certified don't play. And we're going to be right here in the USA while we watch the tellers on the plane. And when FBA shows up, everybody better know that it's FBA all damn day because FBA said so. Free Huey, let's go.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.